Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this week's edition of the Sunday Wire. I'm Patrick Henningsen, your host. We are streaming out live on X, Rumble, BitChute, YouTube, Facebook Live, and also at 21stcenturywire.com. We'll be on the audio podcasts afterwards as well, so you can find us there as usual if you're subscribing to Spotify or iTunes. And we have a very important broadcast today. This is episode 576 of the Sunday Wire, this weekly omnibus news and analysis radio and TV program, again brought to you here at 21st Century Wire, and also streaming on the alternate current radio network as well. And we had something else planned this week, but we had to push that aside. I'll explain why. Well, you know why. If you've been watching the news, you know exactly why. There's so much to cover. And we're going to do our best to do that in the most compressed and efficient fashion, as you guys are used to. And we'll also be in overdrive with our teammates, and we'll get our audience involved with the comments as well. So we've got a lot to talk about there. Now, let me bring this up on screen right now just to put you into the frame. Again, go to 21stcenturywire.com, and you'll see our Sunday screening for this week. This is an excellent documentary film called The God Complex, and it's really a discussion about censorship. Very, very important discussion, of course, and this is a great independent documentary film, excellent production, selected by our editorial team. So hat tip to our Global Affairs Department for this excellent selection. This is every week we feature a documentary film at 21stcenturywire.com every Sunday called The Sunday Screening. So go check that out, please, if you're able to. Certainly, we highly recommend it. Now, in addition to that, I just want to say, you know, we are so heavily censored and suppressed. This channel, especially on YouTube, has been suppressed for over a decade because we were on the original blacklists. And some of you who saw the Twitter files will know that we were on some of the biggest blacklists there. And it caused us to be deplatformed, canceled as well. We've got a lot of our accounts are back, of course, but YouTube and Google is one of the worst in terms of suppression because we are an OG alternate media platform, and we've been at the forefront of a lot of important stories, and we've done a tremendous amount of damage to a lot of the government narratives in terms of proxy wars, fake color revolutions. And that's why we were marked for cancellation and suppression. So we need you to like and subscribe this on YouTube. So go to 21st Century Wire TV on YouTube, like and subscribe this episode. Okay. Not only that, share it. Share the stream on X, on Facebook, wherever you are on social media. This is how we physically break through the algorithmic suppression of our content, and we need your help to do that. We absolutely do. So, and the other thing, last housekeeping item before we get back to what we're going to talk about, which is obviously Venezuela, Trump. I mean, an unbelievable dark black hole we have as the human race, as 21st century civilization has stepped through, been pulled through, in fact. And we'll tell you why this is so dangerous. And we'll get into the details of that. But on top of all this, helping us share the content, if you like what we do, if you want to see us do more of it, we need your help. This is our winter fundraising drive right now. Some details at the bottom of the ticker tape there. But do consider supporting us for our winter fundraising drive. And this is how we fund our operation for the coming year. This is what we calculated we need just to keep the doors open and pay staff and writers and all the rest of it. And we're doing great content right now. We're putting stuff out daily, every day, video content, written content at 21stcenturywire.com. We are a bona fide independent media platform, multimedia platform, and we do real investigations, long-term investigations as well. We need your help to make that happen. So do support us for this winter fundraising drive. Some of you have, and I'm going to say a big thank you to you guys. Some of you have, and it's unbelievable, the generosity that's come through. So big thank you to everybody in our family, 21st Century Wire, 21 Wire family, who've supported us either by donating or even better, subscribe and become a member with 21wire.tv. That is that's a very inexpensive way of supporting us on a month-to-month basis. And we really appreciate it if you do. So again, a big shout out there for our winter fundraising drive. So please find it within your heart this holiday season to get involved. We want you to get involved, and thank you. We'll read off and recognize some of the donors probably next week, as we did last week. I mean, there's just too many people to thank, and you guys know who you are. And I just want to say, amazing, amazing. We're blown away by your generosity, and this is what it takes. This is an absolute listener and viewer supported alternative media platform. Okay. We're not getting political money from Elon Musk or Peter Thiel like many other so-called alternative media outlets that are getting funded by all this far-right cash. Okay, that's not happening here. Okay, that's because of the way that we report the issues. We're more objective, we're more fact-based, and we're not hitching a ride on the MAGA train or whatever. It's not happening. So this is not a far-right media outlet, okay? But we welcome conservatives, we welcome liberals, we welcome people on the left, people on the right to come into this conversation, because we're going to tell you what's happening, how it is, not how we want it to be. We're going to tell you how it is. And I think the people that are here appreciate us for that. That's why you follow us. That's why you support us. So thank you very much. Now, again, we'll bring this up on screen too. This is what we were going to talk about this week, but we're going to have to push it off. Our review, Top 10 Conspiracies of 2025. Okay, this is an annual piece we do. We've been doing this for 11 years. And I'll tell you what, each time we do this, it gets more bizarre and strange. And if you just look back at the bottom of this, you can go back and look at the previous years, all the way back to 2014. And your mind will be blown. But we've been so on point every year, year in, year out. And the quality of the way we're looking at these issues, the stories, etc. It's, there's nobody else that does this. Nobody else that has done this for this long of a time. So again, if you want to support us, we're not a flash in the pan. We're not a fly-by-night independent media outlet. We're here to stay. And that's why you should support 21st Century Wire. So that's the top 10 conspiracies. A few honorable mentions in there. You'll find this to be fascinating reading. Put Epstein up there and MAGA, because those are the two sort of issues that are crossing and canceling each other out, really, truth be known. And we explain why. And so it's there. Next one is this one, and this usually comes on the first. We actually publish this on right after the first, around after midnight on the second. We publish the Unraveling 2025 Trends and Predictions by 21stcenturywire.com. Now, equally fascinating, because what happened just a few 12 or 24 hours after we published this, the United States went all guns blazing into Venezuela. So that's going to be the main part of this conversation today. And it'll probably spill, no doubt, into overdrive with our teammates, Hesher, Ruckus, possibly Basil Valentine. But do read this, and do look at the previous years. And you can see we get quite a few things right. And some things take longer to come to fruition. Maybe not in a year, but a few. But the point is, you can kind of get an idea of how we're looking at geopolitics, how we're looking at the world, and why, again, the conversations that we're having are relevant on this show, the Sunday Wire, and at 21stcenturywire.com. And that's why we have such an intelligent audience. And we'll highlight some of the zingers of comments, and we're going to get into dark gallows humor as well, as we normally do in the second part of the program. So there it is, folks. That's the predictions and trends for 2025. And this is more of a sort of challenging thinking man, thinking woman's worldview, looking forward, okay, trends and predictions for 2025. So let's talk about that. Now, one of those, of course, as we said, is this. This is the plate from that. It's now been, well, Trump's next move. That was before Christmas. That's the graphic we used before Christmas. But things have changed. So it's not Trump's next move. Now it's this, Trump's latest war. So this is the peace president, and who campaigned on no new wars was just a trope. And that's why we're going to focus on this. Obviously, what happened last 24 hours is unbelievable. And it sets a it puts the U.S. and the world down a very dark path, a very dark path. And what you have to understand is, aside from Nicolas Maduro here, and we'll talk about that, these are criminals. Donald Trump, there's the psychotic criminals. Donald Trump, Pete Hegseth, you can't see all his tattoos because he's wearing a suit. And then you've got sort of Captain Kirk's right hand there, Marco Rubio, chief operations on the bridge, who is just a complete psychopath. And behind him are some of the worst drug cartel criminals you can imagine. That's who he represents. He represents the Israel lobby, and he represents organized crime. That's Marco Rubio. Unfortunately, he's Secretary of State in the U.S. That's problematic, but anyway, very sad. So what they've done is a massive snatch and grab operation in Venezuela. This is what they've done over the last 24 hours, and they've written quite a few checks they will not be able to cash. I can tell you right now. A lot of promises have been made, a lot of things have been said, and the likelihood that they're going to be able to deliver on any of this, even a little bit of it, I don't think this is not going to end well for Trump, for Washington, and probably not for Venezuela either. It's going to be very ugly. Okay. So they're doing a victory lap right now. They're all very pleased with themselves. We'll pick out a few choice moments from Trump's his address. It was just the most incoherent slobbering on the microphone. I don't know what's wrong with Donald Trump, but he is not looking good or sounding good. He's a complete mess. Okay. Now we'll cut right to the address, the press conference, and then we'll look at just some of the highlights. I'm probably going to pause as well, and we might jump around a little bit in terms of the time codes on this, but I don't know what to say. It's just beyond the pale. Anyway, look, let's bring up onto the screen here. This is the big press event at Mar-a-Lago yesterday, and we'll play a few things. I mean, honestly, it's left a lot of people speechless. So here is the Donroe Doctrine. I mean, this guy's just a complete piece of work. We'll critique some of the things he said. Obviously, it's not even necessary at this point because it's so ridiculous. But here's the U.S. President Donald Trump, and let's cue this up. This starts right about here. Yeah.
Its military is the strongest and most fearsome military on the planet by far. With capabilities and skills our enemies can scarcely begin to imagine. We have the best equipment anywhere in the world. There's no equipment like what we have, and you see that even if you just look at the boats. We've knocked out 97% of the drugs coming in by sea. 90% each.
This is one of those lies that he keeps repeating. And, when he's got a good lie that sounds good to him and is not a very sophisticated lie, but good enough to basically bamboozle a low IQ, completely brain dead and intellectually challenged audience at Fox News, Newsmax, One America News, and all these other sort of right-wing talk radio. I mean, it's the sort of people that are still clinging to these media outlets are not very bright because they believe a lot of this stuff. Donald Trump says we've knocked out 97%. I mean, this is about as much of a BS claim as COVID vaccines are 97% effective, okay? It's the same type of garbage, okay? Most of the drugs enter the United States by land, okay? And most of the ones that come by sea don't come on the Caribbean side. They come on the Pacific side, okay? Just to be clear. And quite a bit of them come by military transport, which those aren't going to get caught, are they? No. And nor is the massive amounts of narcotics trafficked by America's Central Intelligence Agency and the DEA. So what he's talking about, 97% of drugs by boat in the Atlantic or the Caribbean or whatever, 97% of nothing. Okay? Anyway, how could he verify those statistics in such a short time? It's just a lie. Okay? But there's too many lies. If you had to break this speech down, I mean, you'd be here all day. It would take us about an hour to analyze each 5 minutes of this. It's a complete joke. And he is slobbering through this. He's got a problem. He's slurring. Might be on heavy medication. Nobody knows. You have to remember, he's as old as Biden was during the 2 years into his last term, Joe Biden. So Trump is an old man, okay? He's not that sharp. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And he's surrounded by a bunch of grifters. And quite frankly, this is about as much of a criminal gang as you can imagine. That's very sad for a country like the United States, okay? No decorum, no respect for the Constitution, which we'll show you, nor the rule of law. Let's listen to the rest of this.
Boat kills on average 25,000 people. We knocked out 97%. And those drugs.
Each drug boat kills 25,000 people. I mean, just making it up.
Mostly come from a place called Venezuela.
Right, that's a lie. Most of the drugs don't come from Venezuela. Almost nothing comes from Venezuela into the United States. That's a provable fact. How do I know that? Just read the DEA's own website. This is the President of the United States, sadly. Sadly. So this is the justification for this egregious international crime that he has just, this caper that he has just waged on in the name of the American people. This president.
We're going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. So we don't want to be involved with having somebody else get in, and we have the same situation that we had for the last long period of years. So we are going to run the country until such time as we can do a safe, proper, and judicious transition. And it has to be judicious.
Judicious.
Because that's what we're all about.
Judicious. Does he mean judicial? This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. This guy is a disgrace. Donald Trump is a disgrace to the country, to himself, to the office of the president. He's just blabbing and babbling on. This guy makes George Bush look like a Nobel physics winner. This guy makes George Bush Jr. look like a Nobel laureate scientist. It's pretty abysmal. So he's openly saying we're taking over the government. So how is that any different than saying that Venezuela is now a U.S. colony? And this ridiculous, high school document that they released called the National Security Strategy. Like, I don't know who wrote this, but it was like a copy and pasted undergraduate monograph. Okay? I'm not exaggerating. It's like copy and pasted. That was Trump's national security strategy. It was a joke. I don't know who wrote that or who signed off on it, but it's really sad. And it was all about, oh, we respect the sovereignty of countries. So they released that, claiming they respect nation states and sovereignty. And now they've taken over, expropriated a whole country as a colony under military threat and done extraordinary rendition to take their president away, their head of state. Unbelievable.
We want peace, liberty, and justice for the great people of Venezuela. And that includes many from Venezuela that are now living in the United States and want to go back to their country. It's their homeland.
Trump doesn't give a you-know-what about the people of Venezuela. All he cares about is stealing their oil. Okay? Let's be clear. That's the fact of the matter. So we'll leave this for the moment. And let's just go back. This is what the president said about whether, this was a few days ago on Fox, whether this was legal or not. Actually, this is early in the morning before this speech. I'm going to play you a clip from a great podcast, Daniel Davis's Deep Dive. Okay? Let me bring this video up. Listen closely. Okay? Listen closely. This is from Fox and then commentary with Daniel Davis.
But as far as last night is concerned, it was really genius. What they did is genius. And the Democrats, maybe they'll take a shot. They'll take a shot. All they do is complain. They don't talk about, they should say, you know what, we did a great job. We're stopping drugs from coming into this country. And nobody's been able to do it until we came along. But they should say, great job. They shouldn't say, oh, gee, maybe it's not constitutional. The same old stuff that we've been hearing for years and years and years.
Okay, that right there should alarm every American, even if you're a big supporter of President Trump. That should be alarming. His mocking of anyone saying we should follow the Constitution. Even if you're a dyed-in-the-wool MAGA person, at least on paper, anyone who is a MAGA supporter is supposed to prioritize the U.S. Constitution above Donald Trump as a person. You can be a big supporter of the president. You can have voted for him. You can cheer him on. But even he is supposed to be held accountable and subordinate to the U.S. Constitution. And when you hear that guy mock the Constitution or anyone who says we should follow it, that is a big red flag.
That's Daniel Davis. I mean, that's one of the best podcasts on the whole internet. You know what? The thing I respect about Daniel Davis, Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis, and also Douglas McGregor, is they actually believe in the rule of law. They actually believe in the U.S. Constitution. It's not just an impediment that's stopping some means to an end of some smash and grab operation or some of these neocons. Trump is a neocon, okay? He is a neocon in exactly the same vein as George Bush. Trump lied to the American people. To get the independent vote in America, you need to be an anti-war candidate. This is what George Bush Jr. did. This is what Barack Obama did. Okay? This is what Donald Trump did in his first term. So you have to put on this sort of facade of being against war, being against regime change, okay? And then when you get in, you do the opposite. And what Trump has gone back on that, I mean, he's just stabbed his base in the back. The MAGA's dead. MAGA's finished. Trump killed it. Okay, well, let's bring the man back up here. And we'll go on. I mean, you've heard that. Let's just advance a little bit. This is quite an interesting point here.
Florida. But we have people where the overwhelming evidence of their crimes will be presented in a court of law. And I've seen it. I've seen what we have. It's both horrible and breathtaking that something like this could have been allowed to take place. For many years after his term as president of Venezuela expired, Maduro remained in power and waged a ceaseless campaign of violence, terror, and subversion against the United States of America, threatening not only our people, but the stability of the entire region. And you
That's a complete lie by Trump. He's lying through his teeth. Venezuela wasn't threatening the United States. So it's funny how Trump claims to be the victim. He's attacking Venezuela. U.S. has been sanctioning them. U.S. has destroyed the Venezuelan economy. U.S. has attacked their currency, causing hyperinflation, sanctioned them for the better part of 20 years. The U.S. has tried to overthrow Chavez and Maduro not once, not twice, 3 times, 4 times. The United States did that, as they've done to countless other governments. So spare us the fake lecture. You dilapidated, sad old man, Donald Trump. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. And anyone that believes any of this, honestly, I can't help you. Good luck. Good luck. Ignorance is bliss, as they say. Listen to this.
also, and in addition to trafficking gigantic amounts of illegal drugs that inflicted untold suffering and human destruction all over the country, all over, in particular, the United States.
So Trump is telling a huge lie here because there's no evidence that Maduro trafficked any drugs into the United States. Okay, definitely not even massive amounts, but hardly anything. Nothing probably from Maduro himself. Are there criminals working through or using Venezuela as a sort of, way station or route into traffic through via Colombia and Ecuador and whatnot? Of course. Just like the United States is full of drug traffickers. But again, the biggest traffickers in the Western Hemisphere are the CIA. And globally, not just in the Western Hemisphere, in Asia, Southeast Asia, traditionally, United States. But Donald Trump himself just pardoned the biggest drug trafficker convicted in a U.S. federal court, the former president of Honduras, a criminal named Juan Orlando Hernandez. Trump just let him off because somebody ordered Trump to let him go. No, and they won't say where the order came from. Trump just says, oh, he was treated badly by someone told me he was treated badly by Biden. So I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, did the drug cartels tell Trump to let Hernandez out? Because Hernandez is a major drug trafficker, hundreds or thousands of tons of cocaine he trafficked into the U.S. Who is telling Donald Trump to let him go? Benjamin Netanyahu? Marco Rubio? The drug cartels? We don't know. There should be a Senate or congressional hearing about this issue. How can the president pardon a convicted major drug cartel actor while he's claiming to be fighting a war on drugs? There should be a Senate hearing. This should be well above even impeachment in terms of a priority, because it means that, is the president compromised by criminal interests? That certainly the Democrats were. That's why they had an open border. That's why they opened the border for human trafficking and drugs. And the Democrats thought this was a great idea because they would get Democratic voters. That's why all the Venezuelans flooded in during Trump's first term, and during Biden's term, and during Obama's term. Not just Venezuelans, people from Guatemala, people from other countries. The Democrats wanted voters. They wanted to turn Texas blue. And this served the interests of the cartels. And this is why some people would say that many U.S. politicians are in the pockets of the cartels. Just look at their policies. They're letting people in. They're letting human trafficking go unchecked. They're letting drugs in unchecked, the U.S. government. And they're pardoning convicted drug felons like Trump does. Trump has pardoned so many drug convictions. I mean, who is giving these orders to Trump? The American people have a right to know. This should be a Senate major investigation. They need to do a commission about this. Because this gets right to the heart of the issue. Who is actually pushing and running and pulling the strings of the U.S. government? So this show with taking Venezuela down, to me, is a massive facade. And there's a lot of corruption behind this. We have no idea. We have absolutely no idea. This guy is just an unbelievable piece of work.
Maduro sent savage and murderous gangs, including the bloodthirsty prison gang, Tren de Aragua, to terrorize American communities nationwide. And he did indeed. They were in Colorado.
That's a lie. Okay. A lot of this stuff was just cooked up rumor by certain individuals on social media who are affiliated with Israel. Maduro didn't send Tren de la Agua or whatever into America. And Trump's going to say something stupid like they took over an apartment building in Colorado. I mean, this is just retarded. Honestly, this is so stupid.
They took over apartment complexes. They cut the fingers off people if they call police. They were brutal.
And he's trying to blame that on Maduro, which is quite amazing. And then he says Maduro is the head of the Cartel de las Soles. And the Cartel de las Soles, if you want to trace back that name, that's a CIA front. So he's saying Maduro's in charge of a CIA organization that doesn't exist at the moment in Venezuela. I mean, these people are just unbelievable. The level of lying and just fabrications on this, honestly, there's not enough time in the day to break it down.
But they're not so brutal now. And I just have to congratulate our military, Pete, and everybody, and our National Guard, because the job that they've done, whether it's in Washington, D.C., where we have a totally safe city, where it was one of the most unsafe cities anywhere in the world, frankly, and now we have no crime in Washington, D.C. We haven't had a killing. We had the terrorist attack a few weeks ago. A little bit of a different kind of a threat, but we...
Oh, my gosh. As he rambles on just completely incoherently about putting troops on the streets in America for quite a long time, and then, so let's just move fast forward a little bit.
It was our property. We built it. And we never had a president that decided to do anything about it. Instead, they fought wars that were 10,000 miles away. We built Venezuela.
Trump is fighting wars 10,000 miles away. He bombed Iran unprovoked, and he's promised to bomb Iran again in a few weeks with Netanyahu at Mar-a-Lago.
Oil industry with American talent, drive, and skill, and the socialist regime stole it from us during those previous administrations, and they stole it through force. This constituted one of the largest thefts of American property in the history of our country. Considered the largest theft of property in the history of our country.
So Donald Trump doesn't actually know what he's talking about. So American companies are working in Venezuela today. Chevron is a good example. But the U.S. companies were ripping off Venezuela, and Venezuela, when they had an election, and elections have consequences, Republicans, you love saying that, and they nationalized and took back a lot of the oil. And this is when the U.S. started waging war on Venezuela during Bush Jr., late 90s, early 2000s, 1990s, early 2000s. Okay? That's when the sanctions started. That's when the coups began, you see. And so what the U.S. do, what Trump does, and he's claiming that it's U.S. property, like Venezuela, he's claiming the U.S. owns Venezuela and that they have the rights to take what they want for an infinite period of time. So obviously some governments will come in and say no. You know, most governments would reject that. Serious governments would reject it, like the Chinese. Who are the world superpowers? Chinese wouldn't put up with it. Russians wouldn't put up with it. Venezuela didn't put up with it. And so the U.S. decided to wage war against them permanently. And what the U.S. do is strangle the country with sanctions, don't allow Venezuela to sell its oil, okay? Then it won't allow them to have the money to upkeep their energy infrastructure. And then the U.S. and Marco Rubio and all these people would turn around and say, and there's plenty of people on social media, sort of fake conservatives, were saying, oh, it's terrible what Maduro has done to the economy of Venezuela. The U.S. did that by sanction. There was some girl saying, oh, I provide things for the children in Venezuela, some U.S. conservative, phony, humanitarian who's saying, oh, Maduro's just destroyed the country. No, the U.S. destroyed it. The U.S. destroyed it. And then they blame the quote, regime, and they say, oh, the regime is stealing all the money. That's why the economy is in free fall. No, it's because the U.S. basically declared war on their currency, pushed it into hyperinflation, sanctioned them, embargoed them, and they're strangling the country, hoping that people will rise up and overthrow the government. And it doesn't happen. So the U.S., they failed. So now they have to come in and physically remove the fucking president. Pardon my French. I have to cut that out on the live stream. Honestly, it's just, people are so stupid that they can't work this out. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So Trump is saying that that Venezuela has kicked the U.S. out of the Western Hemisphere. The U.S. is the one attacking Venezuela. I mean, so none of this makes any sense. It's completely ridiculous. So, look, back to, we'll bring this back here. And so they've arrested Maduro, they've taken him, they've abducted him and his wife. Now, why they've taken the wife is because she's obviously not involved in anything other than she's married to the president. She's active politically. But they didn't want to leave her in Venezuela because she would be a sort of icon of defiance against the U.S., protecting her husband. So the U.S. and Trump did something very vicious and shrewd, which is they kidnapped the wife too and then trumped up some fake charges against her for terrorism or something stupid. And so they're going to put her on ice for a year and a half while this thing works its way through the Southern District of New York, which is going to take 2 years. Trump won't even be in office by the time this goes to trial. And when it does, it's going to be a farce. They're not going to get a conviction. They're probably not going to get a conviction. But why have they kidnapped the wife? Because they didn't want her in public advocating for her husband and becoming an icon of defiance. That's how desperate and weak the United States is. They can't even allow his wife to be free. Weak. Because they can't win on the arguments or in real politics, so they have to use threats, intimidation, and break the law in order to get what they want. That's the fact. So that explains that. And, of course, we get to the oil. Why is the oil such a big deal? The United States is in trouble, okay? They're in trouble because the reason the U.S. can spend $1.3 trillion a year on their military is because they can run a budget deficit and go into debt $2.5 trillion a year. They can overspend what they take in. They don't take enough in to have this world police military, Team America military operation. So they have to go over their budget. So to do that, it's dangerous because when you start printing up dollars, the value of the dollar could plunge to nothing. So the thing that saves the dollar is something called the world reserve currency, which is the petrodollar. That's the old system. After the Bretton Woods was phased out in the early 1970s, the U.S. became an oil-backed dollar. So the demand for dollars globally, as long as people used dollars and held them in reserve to buy and sell oil and other commodities, That creates an artificial demand for the U.S. dollar, so countries need it, and countries will also keep buying U.S. Treasury bills and U.S. debt. That stabilizes the value of the dollar, which allows the U.S. to have this bloated, massive military all over the world, which they use to attack and steal and strangle countries. So when countries stop using the dollar, like the BRICS countries, like Venezuela, for oil, all of a sudden the U.S. dollar is in trouble. If you read our predictions and you read our conspiracies for the 2025 and 2026, we explain this. And this is why Trump is desperate. The tariff thing was a failure. It's ruined the economy. It's created indecision. It's tightened it up. You've got inflation and a stagnant economy. Stagflation. That's what Trump did. It was a desperate move, and it failed. It's a disaster. Long term, it's going to be a real disaster. He's trying to make it sound like this was a great thing. The tariffs was the ultimate faceplant. Okay, who talked him into doing that? I don't know. All it's done is hasten the demise of the U.S. dollar. So he has to go and steal Venezuela, that has the world's largest proven oil reserves, because he wants to steal their gold, their silver, and their oil. Not just oil, gold and silver as well, which Venezuela has. Trump just wants to steal it. And this is how he's going to somehow save the U.S. dollar from free fall. But it's not going to work. But does the world have to be attacked in order to protect the value of the U.S. dollar so the U.S. can build this massive military on steroids, which they can't even afford? The only thing allowing them to do it is the fake demand for artificial demand by commodities being sold in U.S. dollars. I mean, that's the trap the U.S. empire is in. If no other country can do this, no other country can spend $1 trillion that they don't have on an army they use to control the world. It's a genius system, but it's unraveling because the United States is stupid, and they started over sanctioning people. So countries are like, we don't want to use the dollar because you're going to punish us, like Venezuela, like Russia, like North Korea, like Iran. So the way that Trump and the U.S. are reacting is to basically go smash and grab, steal, threaten, kill, assassinate, abduct, steal the country's oil. He's openly saying it. I mean, it's pretty unbelievable. But the oil piece is massive. It's really very significant. So we'll go back to Trump. I mean, there's a few more doozies here. We'll give him a little bit more airtime, and then we'll have to move on.
Massive oil infrastructure was taken like we were babies, and we didn't do anything about it. I would have done something about it. America will never allow foreign powers to rob our people or drive us back into and out of our own hemisphere. That's what they did. Furthermore, under the now deposed dictator Maduro, Venezuela was increasingly hosting foreign adversaries in our region and acquiring menacing offensive weapons that could threaten U.S. interests and lives. And they used those weapons last night. Potentially in league with the cartels operating along our border.
That's so stupid. They used the weapons against the U.S., went and killed. I don't know how many Venezuelans that Trump killed yesterday, but the United States is the only people that use weapons. I mean, this is the problem with this. I mean, let's look at the indictment. Here we go. This is it. Here's Pam Bondi. Let's bring it up on stage. Okay. Let's look at what the great Attorney General, Israel's Attorney General, has to say. Let's find out here. We'll bring this up in a moment. What does Pam Bondi have to say about this? Let's take a look. We'll bring this up on screen. There we are. So if you read the indictment, this is what they posted on X is unbelievable. What they managed to post on X, and what are they actually indicting Maduro for? This is the thing. What are they actually, indicting Maduro for? Difficult to say. Let's bring it up on screen again. Here we go. There it is. Okay. Here we are. There you go, folks. I mean, I thought this was a joke. That's what they posted. Nicolas Maduro and his wife, Celia Flores, have been indicted in the Southern District of New York. Narco terrorism conspiracy. So narco terrorism is a made-up term. It doesn't mean anything. And it's a way to use terrorism in order to get a NDAA or some kind of fake emergency or whatever for U.S. law to justify deployment or whatever. Cocaine import conspiracy, like the CIA do. And I love this. Here it is. Possession of machine guns. So as president, he's the head of the armed forces, and he's being charged with possession of machine guns. Is this a joke, folks? Is this a joke? This is not serious. What are these people talking about? This is crazy. There it is. Take a good look at it. Possession of machine guns. What's a machine gun? What, an AR-15, a Kalashnikov, an Uzi, the kind that... is that illegal in the United States to have a machine gun? No. It's called the Second Amendment. Unbelievable. I mean, it just gets more ridiculous the more you look into this. It is the biggest pile of BS in history. To use a Trump turn of phrase, no one's seen BS like this. No one's done BS like this. It's just pretty amazing. So we'll bring this back here, and we'll bring it back to Trump. Just a few more just important points to make here. I mean, let's go here a little bit further. So this is Pete Hegseth talking about the iron will, the iron will of America.
And no other president has ever shown this kind of leadership, courage, and resolve. The most powerful combination the world has ever seen. As the president said, our adversaries remain on notice. America can project our will anywhere, anytime.
So that's it. Project our will, you see. So this is that's what that is. Project our will. So let's listen to Colonel Daniel Davis again on this. Okay, bring back. Listen.
Fairly hostile to the United States, and I haven't given a lot of...
So it is, here Trump is threatening the Colombian president with regime change, right to his face. Okay, this was on television not so long ago. Listen closely to Trump on this.
To the United States, and I haven't given a lot of thought. He's going to have himself some big problems if he doesn't wise up. Colombia is producing a lot of drugs. They have cocaine factories that they make cocaine, as you know, and they sell it right into the United States. So he better wise up, or he'll be next. He'll be next too. And I hope he's listening. He's going to be next.
Do you see what's happening here, folks? I mean, now here's Trump is now, not that he's in the process, not that he's moving towards it. He is now an imperial president. He has gotten to the point to where he now has no constraints on his power. He can do whatever he wants to whomever he wants. And he has a loyalist sitting at the head of the now Department of War, who lusts after that job and is enthusiastic to do any and everything asked of him to do without question or hesitation. Doesn't matter if it violates the Constitution, the American law, international law, no consequence, no consideration given to that at all. So he's done it in Iran. He's done it now in Venezuela. He's threatening to do it in Colombia. He's again threatening Greenland, of all places. And he's again, just a couple of days ago, threatening to go back into Iran. And he's saying, well, they better negotiate. Well, you've seen what's happened when they negotiated. You understand that when he did that the first time in June of last year, they were negotiating, actively in the process of negotiating. We had plans for our negotiating team to meet, and then we attacked. He said, and I think I showed you this just yesterday, basically less than 24 hours before the attack happened, he went on television and said they have 2 weeks to negotiate, knowing full well that he'd already given the attack plan. So that completely undercuts our word on anything.
There it is, folks. Again, that's Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis, Deep Dive, a great podcast. I'm on that show as a guest sometimes. What he said is so true. And so let's bring up again and look at. Well, we'll look at this in a moment, but I just want to bring us back to those core issues. Okay. You have to understand, the U.S. has used negotiations, not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4, 5 times as cover for a sneak attack. And they just did it again. Donald Trump is very dishonest. He's playing dirty. And the problem is, this is going to hurt negotiations with Russia because they've done it again. When the U.S., on the eve of negotiations against Iran, the U.S. and Israel launched a sneak attack to try to take out the Iranian government, unprovoked. They used negotiations to lull the Iranians off guard and then struck to try to take out the government. Make a note, that was in June. Around the same time, the U.S. claimed to be brokering serious peace talks between Ukraine and Russia. And just as those negotiations were going, Ukraine, with the help of the CIA, British intelligence, NATO, launched a sneak attack to take out Russia's nuclear deterrent, their long-range bombers, Operation Spider's Web. That's twice. Third time, Israel attacked Qatar during U.S.-brokered Hamas negotiations. They tried to take out the Hamas leadership during negotiations by pretending to be, and the U.S. was deeply involved in this. That's 3 times. Fourth time, U.S., Russia, Ukraine negotiations. What happened over Christmas? 91 drones sent. 91 drones sent to attack Vladimir Putin's residency. And Donald Trump is lying. He said he didn't know anything about it, but the CIA knew about it. So who's telling is Trump? Is it that the CIA doesn't tell Trump what's going on, or they told him and he's lying to the Russians and lying to the public, saying that he didn't know anything about it? Another sneak attack during serious negotiations. Did they try to take out the Russian president? And in this case, Trump openly says, I was negotiating with Maduro, and then I stopped negotiating, and he wanted to make a deal, and I said, I don't want to make a deal. And what happens right after this? They abduct a head of state and take him to New York on fake trumped-up charges, narco terrorism, possession of machine guns. Again, another sneak attack, pretending to negotiate. So why would anyone want to negotiate with Donald Trump and the Trump administration? They've got this dirty tactic of using negotiations to mount sneak attacks. This is very, very dirty. That's why we're calling this the dirty war on Venezuela. It's a dirty war. It's hard to know where to start on this. So here's Rubio, and bring him back. Listen to this.
It's going to play out, and I think people need to understand that this is not a president that just talks and does letters and press conferences. And, you know, if he says he's serious about something, he means it. And this is something that was a direct threat to the national interest of the United States, and the president addressed it. This is a president of peace, by the way. I told you what I just said earlier. This guy had multiple opportunities to find his way somewhere else and figure out another. He could have been living somewhere else right now, very happy, but instead he wanted to play big boy. And so now, you know, he's got other sets of problems on his hands.
It's easy to play big boy, Marco Rubio, when you're using the U.S. military to intimidate and overthrow anybody, okay? So Maduro is not guilty of anything but a threat to the U.S. national interest. Can you define what is the U.S. national interest? How long is a piece of string? This is a violation of U.S. constitutional law, the War Powers Act of 1973. There was no congressional authorization. Venezuela was not threatening to attack the United States. There is no statutory instrument from Congress authorizing this. You did not consult Congress. It's illegal. It's illegal. It's a violation of the UN Charter, and under international law, a whole host of violations. It's against U.S. basic treaty law. So what on earth is Marco Rubio talking about? They're just making it up as they go along. Making it up as they go along. And Rubio says, this is a president of peace. I mean, these people are just unbelievable. They're so far gone. And just, why would anyone trust these people? They're criminal. They're acting and talking like criminals, but they're doing it like they have something behind, some morals or ethics behind them. They don't. This is open criminality on a level that's so blatant. It's worse than Bush. Worse than Bush Jr. and the neocons during that period. This is way worse. Because at least back then they tried to put on a show and faked it in order to retain some credibility and respect. These guys don't care. Marco Rubio is on a jihad, some kind of blood feud against Fidel Castro, and he's playing this drama out in 2025. It's pretty incredible. Pretty unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable. So it's not constitutional. Senator Mike Lee tried to defend this from Utah. Based Mike Lee, that's his Twitter handle. Just clown-like. And here's that clip, and again, commentary from Lieutenant Colonel Daniel Davis on this. I mean, it is this crazy, folks. It is this crazy. We'll play this. Listen closely, again, on that constitutional issue.
Mike Lee came out today, and was reported also on Fox News, about how he interprets the Constitution and what he said that basically gives a blank check and a free pass to the president.
Has been arrested by U.S. personnel to stand trial on criminal charges in the United States, and that the kinetic action we saw tonight was deployed to protect and defend those executing the arrest warrant. This action likely falls within the president's inherent authority.
Just time out. So Mike Lee and Rubio are claiming that bombing Venezuela while they kidnapped the president, that anybody that was killed or any bombs dropped were to protect the U.S. soldiers who were going in to kidnap the president. So they can basically scorched earth, whatever. It's according to him, it's legally justified to protect our soldiers who are in another country kidnapping a head of state. I mean, this is just completely insane.
authority under Article 2 of the Constitution to protect U.S. personnel from an actual or imminent attack.
Yeah, that's not what the Constitution says. Our Article 2 does not say that if there's an imminent or attack against the United States, you can use that under Article 2. First of all, even at that, it's embarrassing for Senator Lee to bring that up. Was Nicolas Maduro about to attack the United States? Was he? That there clearly is nothing. Instead, he just categorically states, yeah, this probably falls under that jurisdiction of Article 2. Article 2, all it says is that the president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. And it does specify after it has been authorized by the U.S. Congress in Article 1. Was this authorized by Congress before it happened? No. Pointedly not. There were actually some legal actions to try and quantify this before, and none of it passed. So no one authorized anything. So for a U.S. senator to stand there and say this falls within Article 2 of the Constitution, which it clearly doesn't, is it's an abdication of responsibility.
Oh, it's I think Daniel Davis is being generous there. It's worse than that. Based Mike Lee. Like a U.S. senator puts based on his Twitter handle. I mean, it's just like adolescent. You know, it's clownish. And based Mike Lee lied about the constitutional legality of this. It's kind of scary. These people, you know, swear an oath to defend and protect the U.S. Constitution, not Donald Trump. The Constitution supersede their, quote, loyalty to the president. If you're swearing an oath to the president, you're a fascist. Okay? You're in dereliction of your oath, your duty. I mean, that is the glue that holds the country together and ultimately at least creates some coherence. When that goes, anything can happen and chaos can ensue. And believe you me, you think it's going to be confined to what you think you can control now? The world's changing very fast. The U.S. wants to go down this road. Good luck. Good luck. You're not safe just because you have an Atlantic and Pacific Ocean on either side. If it's going to be this new smash and grab policy, do not be surprised if some very, very bad things happen to the United States as a result. Because this is the dark road that this administration is taking the country down. And that's not absolving Joe Biden and Obama and Bush and Clinton and so forth and other previous administrations for all the killing and massacring and holocausts which they have carried out, and assassinations and coups and regime change. I mean, it's just, the United States is just an incredible criminal enterprise. It's just now it's out of the closet, and they're basically saying, screw the rule of law. We'll do what we want. We'll install anybody we want. If we don't like the person and we don't like what they're saying, we're going to take them out. We're going to kill them, and we're going to steal all your resources. And if you try to stop us, we're going to crush you and destroy you. That's effectively what is being said. Because we say, as Rubio says, it's in our national interests. What a steaming refuse pile of toxic waste these people have created here. Unbelievable. So we'll look at some of the reactions here. So this is an interesting character named Tim Pool. I still don't know anybody that actually watches his show. So I'm wondering, are all his audience bots, or it's hard to work it out. He was like a Bernie Sanders leftist who then became a MAGA Trumpist. And he's saying the U.S. economy is about to boom. Tons of free oil heading our way. There he is, Tim Pool. What an interesting character. So that's the top tier of YouTube right there. YouTube loves this type of content, by the way. So does the CIA. So what these people, if you're in violation of your oath, and of course the president didn't even put his hand on the Bible when he was sworn in. He wasn't really sworn in this last inauguration. Did anybody else notice that? I did. There's something, there's a word for that. There's a word for that. It starts with a T. And quite a few people are guilty of it. They swore an oath to defend and protect the United States Constitution against any foreign enemies, foreign or domestic, and they themselves are undermining and attacking the U.S. Constitution. Then they become an enemy of America. The people in charge are acting as enemies of the state. That's a very dangerous situation. So yeah, you have a lot of these MAGA. There's a guy named Owen Schroyer who used to be with InfoWars, and he is just so on point. I'm going to play, he posted this. He was driving in his car. He uploaded this video. And let me see if I can bring this one up on screen, which is an excellent comment that he made. Let me see if we can make this happen here. This is Owen Schroyer. He's got his own podcast. And basically he's calling out MAGA as just a complete fraud. And the way he puts it, I can't say it any better than he is saying it here. Let's make this work. This is Owen Schroyer, former InfoWars. I think he was sacked for criticizing Trump or something. I don't know the details of his exit from InfoWars, but what he's saying here is so spot on.
You know, it's honestly crazy what MAGA has become. And I'm all for people having different political opinions. I don't want to exist in a cult. You know, people are going to have different opinions than I have, and they're going to have different policies that they support, and they're going to have different things that they want to see done and different ways of getting them done. This is normal. We should all have different ideas, and we should be hearing different ideas. But to watch whatever it is now, formerly known as MAGA, the Trump base, turn into just slop-eating sheeple is really incredible. And if you're evaluating this from a psychological perspective, there is probably no greater testament to this being the case than what we're seeing today. This is a regime change war. This is a special interest regime change war for the oil companies. This is a foreign interest regime change war for Israel. That's what this is. And so if you support that, then that's fine. You have every right as an American to express that opinion and to support that policy from Donald Trump. But don't kid yourselves. Don't become dishonest and people that are lost in a world that doesn't exist. Oh, Trump defeated communism. No, he didn't. Did we end the welfare state? Did we stop all the foreign aid? Are we going to invade China next? This was not about communism. Stop it. Oh, he's stopping the drugs. He's stopping the killer drugs. The CIA runs the narco game. Big Pharma, the COVID-19 vaccines, where are the drugs coming from? They're coming from Mexico. Oh, it's about ending the drugs. Stop it. Just admit what it is, and if you support it, then that's fine. But see, the fact that they can't be honest about what it is, that's the psychological tell. They are in denial. They know they've been deceived. They know this is not what they voted for. They know this is everything that Trump stood against. And here we are again today, and you know what you have in the streets? Foreign flags. Foreign flags in the streets. When do Americans get their day to celebrate?
So that's Owen Schroyer, and he's echoing the sentiments of many other people. And so Alex Jones has totally jumped the shark on this. He has become such a propagandist for the Trump administration, and I don't know why. You know, that could be many different reasons, but Alex has got his issues, of course. But look, stuff that he is posting on his X account is pretty shocking. And, I have great regard and, respect for what Alex is a pioneer in alternative media and an unbelievably great documentary filmmaker back in the day. But what he's become in recent years is just a sort of parody of himself, really. And he's just pumping out all this regime change propaganda for Trump. I mean, it's endless. But this is, here look at this video here. He's playing a video that's, he's claiming it's U.S. Attack on Caracas, and he's saying, fiery angels fell, deep thunder rolled around their shores, burning with the fires of orc. And it's this video playing here. You look at, does this look familiar to people? Well, it should, because it's not from Venezuela. These are Iranian missiles raining down on Tel Aviv. Alex is using Iranian clips saying it's America hitting Venezuela. I mean, basically the worst kind of level of viral fake news. Look at this. I mean, this thing's been debunked so many times. But this is the level of propaganda that some of these big platforms are engaged in. And it's just endless. Endless, endless, endless. And that isn't even the most of it. But, and here he is, he's doing these sort of takes from the car here, saying what's really happening in Venezuela, and Maduro this, Maduro that, and just Trump saving us from the gangs and the drugs. It's so stupid. And the Monroe Doctrine, Alex is talking, I mean, this is, the Monroe Doctrine was to keep European powers from recolonizing after the War of 1812. Trump doesn't even understand the basic history. He likes this term Monroe Doctrine, but he doesn't know what it means. And the main concern, of course, was the British recolonizing the near abroad of the United States, this early 19th century. The Monroe Doctrine wasn't about the United States pillaging and plundering other countries in their hemisphere. That's not the Monroe Doctrine. So they've fetishized something from history and mischaracterized it to justify massive criminal activity. It's kind of ridiculous because people don't know what they're talking about. And and here's one more for the roll call here. We can't let Tulsi Gabbard off the hook. This is the supposed director of national intelligence, the DNI. It's a great title, DNI. Sounds impressive. But Tulsi Gabbard just gave this speech recently, and honestly, you can't make this up. She is absolutely crickets on what we have seen in the last 24 hours. So listen to Tulsi.
The old Washington way of thinking is something we hope is in the rearview mirror and something that has held us back for too long. For decades, our foreign policy has been trapped in a counterproductive and endless cycle of regime change or nation building. It was a one-size-fits-all approach of toppling regimes, trying to impose our system of governance on others, intervene in conflicts that were barely understood, and walk away with more enemies than allies. The results? Trillions spent, countless lives lost, and in many cases, a creation of greater security threats. The rise of Islamist terrorist groups like ISIS. President Trump was elected by the American people to put an end to this. And from day one, he has showed a very different way to conduct foreign policy.
Oh, really? Has he now, Tulsi? A very different way to conduct foreign policy. So this is what I tweeted. Tulsi Gabbard needs to resign now or be unmasked as one of the biggest political frauds of our era. Today we see bombs raining down on Venezuela, U.S. troops being deployed in another regime change war based on 100% fake intelligence, fabricated evidence, some of which have been laundered by Tulsi herself as the director of national intelligence. If they had anything, it would have been all over the global media over the last 3 months. They have no evidence to back up these claims of narco terrorism. Nothing. And her, whose whole identity is based on, oh, I'm against regime change wars, if she doesn't speak up and resign, after she's already been thrown under the bus last March when her intelligence assessment was that Iran wasn't producing a nuclear bomb, and Trump threw her under the bus and said, I don't care what she says, and she just kept her mouth shut. Why? Because Tulsi Gabbard, and this tweet I did has, 200,000 views. That's not bad. So people agree with me. Tulsi Gabbard has been promised either a vice presidential seat for the 2028 elections as J.D. Vance's vice president, or she's been promised funding for a presidential run. That's why she's keeping her mouth shut. She doesn't have any principles. She doesn't believe in any of the platitudes that she used to cultivate her political brand. If she did, she'd resign now. And if she resigned and blew the whistle on this egregious criminal enterprise, she would have so much support from the American people, but she works for the mob now. She is a swamp creature, as is Donald Trump is next level swamp. That's just the reality of the situation. So let's carry on here. So this is basically what you're dealing with. This is the level of the White House. This is what they tweeted out. FAFO, no games. That's the president. After waging an illegal war, this is what he puts out. This is so ridiculous. This is just, it's childish and stupid. And you really got to worry about, these are not, they're supposed to be serious people, but it's debatable if they are. FAFO. F around and find out. And it's the President of the United States who's just done a smash and grab. And this is what they tweet out. I mean, these people are out of control. If only it ended there, folks. And this is Katie Miller. So this is Stephen Miller, who's Trump's advisor, strange character. This is his wife, who has a podcast. No one's ever heard of her. And because she's in the White House, she now is using that to promote her podcast. It's just a propaganda outlet, basically, for the administration. So she says soon. That's a picture of Greenland. Take a closer look at that. She's saying soon the United States is going to steal or take over Greenland. This is just one of many examples. This is someone in the White House, the wife of Stephen Miller. Obviously, total pro-Israeli to the hilt, as you can imagine. That goes without saying. This is Elon Musk. Congratulations, President Trump. This is a win for the world and a clear message to evil dictators everywhere. Okay. This is the first, these are the only things that Elon can actually comment on safely. And there's a picture of Maduro basically with blindfolds on a U.S. ship somewhere at Iwo Jima. I mean, it's just ridiculous. What is Elon's actual interest in this? Well, there's a closer look there. It's this. That's Elon's interest. In support of the people of Venezuela, Starlink, free broadband service. So again, it's about the money for Elon. He also provided free broadband service for the Nazis in Ukraine and boasted about it, the Azov Battalion in Mariupol. There are no angels in war, right, Elon? Anyway, free speech. I have a right to free speech. I can criticize Elon. One would hope and not get censored on X. He's not that petty. So what is it all about, folks? Notice how this story just got basically buried. The Epstein files. Look at Kash Patel. Look at the look on his face. He's thinking what you're thinking. Right, Cash? What's that? A picture of Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, Donald, and his wife, who I believe was introduced to him by Epstein. That's interesting and very inconvenient. The cover-up of the Epstein files by the Trump administration. Of course, that's all been put on the back burner because of this great, glorious regime change war that's been cooked up. And that's what people are worried about. Where is this going to end? Where is it going to end? These people are going to drive us to war because it's not going to stop with Venezuela. Now that they are high on their own supply, they're going to want to take out. They've already tried to assassinate Putin. Trump's playing stupid like he doesn't know what happened. Oh, I didn't know about the drone attack. The CIA didn't tell me. These people are dangerous, dishonest, underhanded, reckless, and dangerous. And not only that, Donald Trump is basically a sock puppet of the Israeli lobby. He is a sock puppet of the Israeli lobby. He is up for sale, and he's under their full control. He is not independent. That should scare everybody. But that's the situation that we're in. And if I didn't say that, I would be lying, because that's the truth, and everybody knows it. Now you can see the results of this are people that have a very, very outsized opinion of their competence right now. Trump's goal in Venezuela is to purge the government of any socialist or Chavista elements, and they will do that either by killing them, by buying them off, or starting a civil war in Venezuela. That's the fact, okay? That's where this is going to end, if it is going to end. That's where eventually it goes. And this is what we're warning people about. That's the end game. And you have a situation where the majority of the people in that country support this president. He did win the last election. Saying that he didn't is U.S. propaganda. It was regime change propaganda to pave the way for this operation. Why would you believe anything that Washington says about anything? These people are habitual liars. They will say anything, make up any fake case to take out or to steal or to remove any government or install any puppet that they feel that they deserve to have. And this has full support of the Democrat Party. The Democrats are up to their eyeballs in this criminality. That's why there's no pushback, because it's a bipartisan agenda. That's why. The Don Roe Doctrine, ridiculous. This is just the lowest ebb in the history of the United States. Mark my words. This government will go down in history as the most corrupt U.S. government in the history of the United States of America. And it might even be the last one, the last government at this rate. Something to think about. I said that before, and I was proven right. Again. Let's take a break. We'll be joined by our teammates on the other side. Longer monologue than usual. I mean, that was just a small percentage of the material that I wanted to cover, but we're on time constraints, folks, so we're going to have to break right now. And when we come back, hopefully that our teammates from ACR are still hanging with us after that long stretch, but we're living in certain times, aren't we? We're living in certain times. We'll be back in a moment.
don't need war, we need peace. We need to find a release from the ties that bind our minds, from the constraints that rule our lives. Politics has failed again. Power's in the hands of dangerous men, with their fury and their rage, and minds bent with fear, greed, and hate. They're dropping bombs again. They don't know that all lives are heaven sent. It's time to stop the genocide, the warmongering in our times. Now is the time. It's time for us to visualize a world where peace will shine. Now is the time. Now is the time. Now's the time for change. Tell me, do you feel the same? For here we stand in the name of love, all peoples of the world as one. The revelation needed on the street is that we're more powerful than we believe. What they don't want us to know is that the light of love we shine they can't control. The other day I spoke to God. She said to me, share this message in a song. It's time to stop the genocide, the warmongering in our times. Now is the time. It's time for us to visualize a world where peace will shine. Now is the time. Now is the time. Don't need war, we need peace. We need to come together in unity. We can change the world tonight when we let love be our guiding light. It's time to stop the genocide, the warmongering in our times now. Now is the time. It's time for us to visualize a world where peace will shine now. Now is the time. It's time to heal dividing lines for the sake of humankind now. Now is the time. It's time for us to realize we're all one in God's mind now. Now is the time. Now is the time. We don't need war, we need peace. We don't need war, we need peace. We don't need war, we need peace.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Sunday Wire. I'm Patrick Henningsen, your host. We're streaming out live on X, Rumble, YouTube, Facebook Live, BitChute, also on the audio streams after the show, iTunes, Spotify, and pretty much everywhere else. 21stcenturywire.com, of course, that is the best place to watch this, as well as alternatecurrentradio.com, streaming out on ACR as well. So a lot of ground to cover. I think we did a fair bit. More to come. I mean, there's a 1 hour interview I did on standby with RT International last night, which was crazy being on the hook for an hour on a news program. But it came out pretty well. I mean, it was just pretty cold analysis. No questions were screened. Nothing. They just called me and I did it on the fly, firing questions at me for most part of an hour. I answered everything pretty well. But yeah, that's what we do. That's what we do. So if you like what we do and you want to see more of it, go to our website. There's also a link in the live stream as well. If you're watching the video on YouTube or Rumble, go to our winter fundraising drive and support us. We need your help. Okay, this is how we fund this independent operation for the next year. This is the bare minimum, by the way. This is just to keep the doors open for 2026. Okay, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And the response has been fantastic already. So just go to go to our website, hit donate at the top. You'll see the gold button. So we need your help. And so many of you have, and we thank you so much. And it goes a long way. You've seen the content we're producing, so I don't need to sell it to you. And we've been going since late 2009, so we have been around for a while and will continue to be around. We have an awesome team, and we know what's going on. So please consider supporting us for the Winter Fundraising Drive 2026. We need your help. We need it. This is you, our listeners, our viewers. You guys love this show. You love our content. You love our articles. You love our investigative reporting. So just consider getting involved. Get involved. Now is the time to do it. Thank you very much. Now, let me bring some of our teammates onto the screen here. This is Hesher, host of the Boiler Room, and Mission Control at Alternate Current Radio as well. Bryan McClain, how are you?
Good. What's going on, man? Good to be here with you today. This fine first Sunday Wire of 2026.
I was just going to do a run through of the conspiracies, the predictions. That's what the plan was. And then all hell broke loose yesterday.
Yeah, funny how we can go to sleep these days and wake up and a whole regime change war has already happened and been completed. And everybody's on their way back home. Isn't that strange? The Trump doctrine is very fast moving, I guess.
That's an understatement. So thank you for joining us. And let me bring the rest of the crew here. This is Ruckus, host of the Daily Ruckus, Adam Clark. Thank you for joining us.
Howdy. Happy Invasion Day, everybody. This is fun.
It's apparently MAGA saying this is Liberation Day for Venezuela.
Man, what a way to start out 2026. I think we know where we're headed this year. This is fantastic because we don't have to guess. We don't have to think about it, make any of those predictions. I know you spent quite a long amount of time making a bunch of predictions. What a waste of time, right, Patrick? Because it just turns out they're just going to rip the mask off and show everybody what we're doing. We're going full-blown imperialism, apparently. This is wild, but I am proud to be an American because this is exactly what the founding fathers thought of when they started this country. They thought, hey, we can do a better job at this empire crap than the Brits. Let's do it. Isn't that exactly why we started this country? Wasn't this the plan all along? What a joke. It's all serious, all kidding aside, to be serious. It's embarrassing. It's actually disgusting. And it's a bit more than just gaslighting. It's almost like a satanic inversion to be doing this type of crap when the country is celebrating its 250th birthday. Because I don't think it takes much thought to go into it to know that this is definitely not what our founding fathers had in mind when they started this country. And I'm pretty sure that they are very much against all of this interventionism, and pretty sure that they're not happy with, with this kind of thing. We don't just go invade other countries, take them over, and do whatever we want. That's for other countries to do. We're supposed to be the Team America that prevents other countries from doing that, allegedly. And we shouldn't be doing that either. But if we're going to do something, aren't we supposed to be the ones who are stopping other countries from invading other countries? I mean, or am I just, I've had it wrong this whole time. I don't know, Patrick. It's so confusing. What a time to be alive, as they say. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this, Hesher? What's gone through your mind? I'm sure it's been a roller coaster of anger, shock, emotions, disappointment, disgust. I don't know. What are your feelings?
Yeah, we need to come up with a new 7 stages of processing, right? Like we've got the 7 stages of grieving and stuff like that, pretty well known among psychology fans. We need like the 7 stages of accepting the Trump doctrine at this point. So I like what Armchair Warlord said about it on X. I thought this was a pretty good write-up that he did talking about the Trump doctrine. He said this operation was thematically similar to last summer's attack on Iranian nuclear facilities. Billed as a masterstroke, collapses under scrutiny, and gives Trump cover to disengage from a foreign adventure. So I thought that was, pretty interesting, because this doesn't actually look like it was a regime change to me. Like Maduro is in, a Latin American kleptocrat is now in custody in New York. Okay. Well, it looks like the Venezuelan government and its military are still totally intact, right? They're discussing a simple implementation of the legal line of secession, which would mean that the vice president would take over. And if you've seen the comments from the vice president, she's pulling no punches, using the word Zionist in her description of what's happened there. So, yeah, I don't really know where this is going. Like, is the U.S. just going to hold on to this guy and his wife, and then let the VP take over there, and then start calling them and say, send us the oil, or else? I mean, is that kind of where this looks like it's headed?
Yeah. So it is a regime change in the purest sense of the word. They've kidnapped a head of state of a UN member state, on fabricating a case. There's nothing in the indictment. If there was any evidence that Maduro was a narco trafficker or they're involved in the drugs trade, that would have been plastered all over the global media for the last 6 months. They have nothing. That's the first. Yeah,
sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but what's really interesting about this, and Armchair Warlord pointed this out also, and I totally agree. They have like nothing on him, like you were just saying. They're quite literally charging Maduro with violating the National Firearms Act. Yep. So Maduro is going to be a martyr for the Second Amendment now. I can't wait to see how the MAGA people are going to try to process that.
It's just stupid. It's really just, it's retarded. This is in the extreme. This is retarded swamp sort of territory. And so, but, I want to make a point, okay? And it's a constructive point. There is no evidence that Maduro is a bad guy, or that Maduro is guilty of human rights violations, or that he's even a kleptocrat, okay? But this is something even people on our side are conceding, because we have experience in here as well, because I've been on the front line of the Ukraine story from 2014, on the Syrian story from 2011, okay? They said so many things about Assad and created so many fake reports like the Caesar report to justify sanctions. And Amnesty International was involved. I think they're penetrated by British and U.S. intelligence. They get the Nobel Peace Prize involved. They get Amnesty International. Even Human Rights Watch is penetrated to basically conform to what U.S. or NATO policy is for regime change. So Maduro is a bus driver who is head of the bus driving union. That's his pedigree. Comes from a very poor working class background, and the family is very proud of the fact that their son became president. True working class. Now, you may or may not like left-leaning governments or socialist-leaning governments, okay? That's beside the fact. The reality is the majority of people in Venezuela do. And that's why Chavez was so popular, and that's why Maduro was also popular. So that's something we got to keep in mind, is this background noise of Assad's a brutal dictator, Maduro's a brutal dictator, or Vladimir Putin's a bloodthirsty butcher. Nothing could be further from the truth based on what I haven't found and what I do see. That Putin, as an example, is the biggest moderate in Russia. The hawks are circling. They want to end this Ukraine thing. They want to steamroll Zelensky. They want to turn Kiev into a parking lot. Okay, but Putin is the pussycat, but he's built up as the next Hitler in the West. And they have all these stories like he kills journalists, he attacked an apartment building to justify the Chechen war, all these sort of things. So I do caution people with Maduro. There's no evidence of his corruption. I haven't seen it. I do know that the country is under repressive and strangling economic sanctions. And that's going to create a lot of problems in the country, as we saw in Syria. So bad that ISIS could march in and take over. That's how bad it was in Syria. So, and again, this is, I think, a discussion worth having, because of the background noise is so extreme on these topics.
It's really loud. It's super loud. And
yeah,
you know, you're correct. And I'm curious why, you know, they brought all these, you know, helicopters and stuff in, right? Why were these, and they it's my understanding that they received some small arms fire and stuff like that, nothing to really worry about. It reminds me kind of when Jolani showed up in Syria, right? It's almost like everybody in the military and the government got a phone call and said, hey, you might not want to bed down in your normal place tonight, and you might want to just leave your stations. Otherwise, you know, you may be in some trouble. It's like literally woke up the next day, the government's gone, the you know, political Zionist military du jour comes in and just, you know, scuttles off the current leader. And the next day, it's a totally different situation. It's bizarre, and it feels like there's a stand down, because if you're flying military ships over Caracas after 4 months of being told, "Hey, we're going to invade you," and literally no surface to air missiles are shot, not one daisy cutter flies through anything. I mean, it feels like something is up.
Look, you can't fly a helicopter in Ukraine now. You know that. Because an NLAW and RPG would just take it down.
Yeah.
And they got, some of them have range, you know, from miles range.
And there's thousands of them sitting around there, manned by who knows who.
So there was a stand down order. Payoffs were made. The U.S. dropped a couple $100 million, probably, to pay off all the military generals, all the key people. And then they attacked and blew up other air defenses. They probably assassinated Maduro loyalists, I would imagine. All that's going to come out. This was an operation. So the U.S. can't afford to do any operation where they would lose even one man, because it would be a collapse back at home politically if that happened. Because Americans have such thin skin when it comes to war. They don't know combat. They don't know combat. America doesn't fight or engage with anyone that will shoot back, period. That's the rule with the United States and their, quote, overwhelming military force. They don't know what combat is. That's why they're going to go nowhere near Ukraine. Because it would be ugly.
Is that why contractors get to see all the action?
Yeah, contractors, black ops, mercenaries, that kind of thing.
So basically, it's not an invasion. It's more like a special military operation. Oh, wait, where have we heard that before?
Yeah, right. Well, it's a little bit different. The other thing is, well, I'll get into it, but you saw this is what the White House tweeted out. I mean, this is just, I mean, you want to respect and, you know, the office of the presidency, but what have they done to the office of the presidency in the last year? They've really brought it down to a kind of a toilet bowl level in terms of cheapness, gaudiness, tackiness, and just retarded memes.
Basement troll memes.
Just, it's...
How do parents and school teachers explain this one to the kids?
Good point, Ruckus.
What does FAFO mean, mommy? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's very vulgar, it's uncouth, it's immature, and again, embarrassing as an American.
This is the normal behavior. It wasn't just a flash in the pan. This is what they're doing all the time, these guys.
By the way, that's from the official White House's account.
It is.
And it was not a repost or a retweet either.
No. And then you got clowns like this. Who is this guy? And when is he going to take that damn hat off? It's been 10 years already. What's under the hat?
Whitebird knows. He's posting pictures of the guy without a hat in our Discord every time you bring him up. It actually he should keep the hat on. If you saw him without
Keep the hat on.
Put it back on.
You know, this person has no beliefs or discernible principles at all. He's one of these sort of Bernie Sanders, disaffected, became a MAGA, and is now basically a neocon. Like and is a flaming Zionist as well. Big fan of Benjamin Netanyahu. I mean, there's a word that they use for, you know, streetwalkers. Starts with a P. Of course, we're going to be kind, but that's sort of like the vibe I get from this guy.
I thought you were going to say it started with a W.
No, I don't. I still, all these years, tell me, is straw poll with you guys. I have not met anybody that actually watches the Tim Pool show. And I've met thousands of people over the last decade in my travels. Have you guys, Hesher, Ruckus, do you know anybody that actually watches this guy's program?
Negative. Not a
Isn't that
single
weird?
one.
Do you find that strange?
Mm-hmm.
And I still
I know.
I've not
Patrick,
met anybody that watches him either.
I figured it out because I watch other podcasters and YouTubers, and they're showing clips of his all the time. So those people must be watching his stuff. Otherwise, I have no idea how they're picking out these clips.
I've seen those clips. I find them to be completely not even uninteresting. They're just like nothing. Nothing said. No points have been made. Nobody. It's almost like it's just a peanut gallery of sort of like the Muppet Show, basically.
Yeah, gotta give him credit. He was cussing out Candace Owens before Alex Jones, so he one-upped Alex on that one.
He was like a dog with a bone, first to the mic on that one, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, he got his marching orders from there. Yeah. So this is Trump and this criminal Netanyahu, one of the worst people on earth, basically openly plotting publicly to bomb Iran again. And I'm telling you, Netanyahu gave the order for the Venezuelan operation. That our foreign policy is being dictated by a foreign lobby, a foreign government. That's happening now. Donald Trump is not the president of the United States. Benjamin Netanyahu is the president of the United States. That is the commander-in-chief right there. That despicable human being next to our sleepy, lethargic, slobbering president. Did you guys see the press conference that he gave? Trump?
The matching costumes are cute, though, yeah?
Yeah. Trump was slurring and slobbering the whole time. It's just very off-putting. And, you know, Joe Biden was known to have dementia. So at least he's got a damn excuse. What is Trump's excuse? Does Trump have some other cognitive handicap going on? Or that's not normal. And I don't want to see our president slobbering and slurring during an international address where he's trying to justify illegally kidnapping a head of state. I mean, it's a disaster. Trump makes George Bush look like a Nobel laureate in physics. He really does. He's such an idiot. The way he rambles on, it's just so incoherent. That was embarrassing. You could even see Rubio and Hegseth were cringing. And that degenerate Stephen Miller, they're standing behind like this big tough show of force. I think that was Radcliffe from CIA. He's gone on the Mike Pompeo Ozempic sort of thing, so he's lost a ton of weight. I think that's him. Is that him? Is that Radcliffe? I think it might
have been.
Yeah, they're all on
Did you hear Mike Pompeo making reference to the protests in Iran, saying that the people on the street have the Mossad at their side?
Yeah,
or something like that.
And Trump said, if the Iranians shoot anybody, which is their custom, he said, then we're going to take out their leadership or whatever. I mean, that just opens the door for the CIA to go in and shoot somebody, run it through the global press, and then use that as a fake justification to attack Iran again, which is exactly what they're going to do.
What does the prediction markets have to say about this? We should get in on this one, Patrick. Calci or Polymarket or something, right?
Yeah,
we can make a fortune.
Oh, interesting you bring up Polymarket, Ruckus, because someone did make a fortune on
somebody
Polymarket.
Close to Trump, I hope.
Someone close to Trump. Did you hear about it?
Yeah, it was like 400. They turned like $4,000 into $400,000 or 40 into 400, something like that.
Yeah, so this is another level of corruption, basically, that we have now.
And our good old friend Ian Miles Chong has been doing some Polymarket stuff too, I see. Wow.
Yeah,
that's about as low as it gets, really. I mean, I can bring this up on screen if you guys really want to see it.
Yeah, it's worth. You got to see it to believe it. It's just like, wait.
Honestly,
what?
people, this is what we're dealing with here. Like I said, this is the most corrupt government history of the United States. I'm not kidding. This is the culture. Look on screen, people. This is tweeted by Joe Pompliano. He said, newly created Polymarket account, invested over $30,000 yesterday in Maduro's exit. The U.S. then took Maduro into custody overnight, and that trader made $400,000 in less than 24 hours. Insider trading is not only allowed on prediction markets, it's encouraged. Right there, there's the receipts. Ladies and gentlemen, does anybody have a problem with this? America is screwed. Do you see who's making that kind of money? People in the Trump administration? Do you think there's insider trading going on with the Trump administration? What do you guys think?
Solid yes.
I'm leaning towards probably, yeah, heck yeah, obviously.
They're betting on black ops and making tons of money and probably laundering that through crypto or whatever with, the Don Jr. and Eric's stablecoin business. These people are just unbelievable.
It's like they want Americans to be mad at Somali daycare grifters while things like this are the norm. I just can't believe it. Like, I'm so disinterested in the Somali thing. Like, get this out of my face, please. I mean, is it real? Yeah, probably. But is it even a flash in the pan of the overall corruption that rules the roost in this country?
No. Let's talk about graft on the defense industry. You guys want to go there?
Yeah.
Do we want to go there? We want to talk about
because I think one of the reasons the Somali story exists is now when journalists now want to talk about fraud and corruption happening in politics or in the current administration is just whitewashed out with all of the slop of all you type the word fraud right now and politics, what's going to come up? Minnesota and Somalis,
Owen, how do we pronounce Schroyer? Schroyer. Owen Schroyer had the best term, MAGA slop.
Yeah.
Listen, Owen is I really like this guy. I mean, he is so.
He just kind of him and Alex got into it, right? Because he left.
Yeah, well, I think he got sacked because he didn't get down
Isn't
on his
that
knees
interesting?
To worship Trump.
Happening.
Yeah. But you want to talk?
I think he actually walked out, Pat. He wasn't welcome back the next day, so technically he got sacked. But really, He stormed out because Alex, he had prepared. It's my understanding, if I recall, that Owen had prepared a whole show and he had guests and he wanted to talk about the Israel factor. And then Alex kept jumping into the frame and changing the topic and bloviating and doing that stuff that he does when he wants to distract from something. And Owen got pissed and he straight just got up and walked out, you know, and then he tried to talk to him the next day and Alex was like, nah, you're out of here.
Because of this.
I think so. Many
because
people
of
think
that.
so.
You want to talk about corruption? How much corruption's going on between Israeli firms, tech firms, interest, U.S. government, military contracts, money laundering? How much is Israel into with the U.S. in terms of corruption? What could we even put a number on it? I don't think so. Within that $1.2 trillion defense budget, there's a whole lot of graft in there. I'm telling you.
What comes after trillion? Is it quadrillion?
There's a whole lot of graft in there. There's 50, hundreds of billions missing. Mm-hmm. Everyone's on the take. And everyone knows it. If you're in Washington, it's a known thing. It's just priced into the budget, isn't it? It's accepted. That's just normal.
It's like gravity. It's like political gravity. It's like dark matter that exists in the financial and political system.
Unbelievable. Do you know why they let in all the Somali immigrants? Do you want to know how that started? Because the United States bombed and tried to take down the Somali government. And after we bomb countries, U.S. policy, same with Britain as well, but it's to then let in a lot of immigrants from that country to create a fifth column, which go through U.S. education, get U.S. grants, U.S. scholarships, and they redeploy them to be the future government of that and business leaders of that country. Syria, Iraq, Yugoslavia, Ukraine, Libya, etc., Iran. That's the opposition.
They made a movie about an incident related to this. It was called Black Hawk Down. Maybe you remember it, people?
Yeah, and Venezuela. There's they let in tons of Trump saying, oh, they sent their immigrants. The U.S. took them all. They wanted to create an opposition in the United States. That's U.S. policy. And Trump was part of that in his first term. They welcomed them in as long as they said they were anti-Maduro. Same with Syria. Oh, I'm against Assad. Boom, automatic asylum. Immediately, done. Same in Canada, same in Europe. Because that was the team effort to take down Syria. This is how it works. Same with Iran. Same with Afghanistan. And it doesn't end. The U.S. have plans to go back into Afghanistan.
Yeah, Trump's threatening to go back to Afghanistan, too. It's like, okay, Mr. President of Peace, we're going to go back to Afghanistan. We're going to support attacking Iran twice. We're going to all those other things you mentioned in your opening monologue. Now this is just like, oh, okay. I mean, the veneer is real thin.
If the U.S. didn't attack and try to destroy Somalia, they wouldn't have let any immigrants in. Nobody would have came. It would have been the normal drips and drabs that going in for green card lotteries, the usual stuff. The same with Iraq, the same with Afghanistan, the same with the Balkans, the same with, and the list goes on and on. Syria, Venezuela, and on it goes. On and on it goes. Cuba, we'll put Cuba in that category as well.
Sure.
I mean, it's just endless. And if they start a war with China, they'll do exactly the same thing. With Taiwanese, Korea, on and on it goes. Yeah. So, that's the intelligent way to look at geopolitics and immigration and all this other stuff. But the knuckle-dragging, brain-dead view, the one that I'm really sad because what's happened to Alex Jones, to watch him become a war propagandist, is tragic. Because Alex pioneered anti-war, independent media. He's the one that taught people to see through all this garbage. And now he is one of the biggest propagandists for this criminal Trump enterprise, regime change roadshow. Oh, the mullahs, the Muslims, Maduro, the cartels. I mean, it's sad because Alex used to be, I thought, very sharp intellectually for many years. But now it's MAGA slop. It's really it's sad.
He's got a recent advisor who's been meeting with him and putting some ideas in his head. Didn't you hear about this in the news? It was this lady right here. Oh, wait, that's not her picture. Laura Loomer. I don't know if you heard that.
You
that
got the
rumor
wrong
or
picture
not?
there, Ruckus.
Yeah, sorry about that. I couldn't find one.
You got to be
Laura.
careful with the buttons. Yeah. You got all those fast keys on your. I see how you got your keyboards all.
Yeah, but now the true story is that Laura Loomer came out in the wake of some of the drama involving Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens and all of that stuff, right? And she said that Alex Jones, Laura Loomer publicly said she was the one who was responsible for making Alex see what she called Owens' malicious behavior. So she was taking credit for Alex's change of views about Candace Owens, i.e. he got pretty mad on air and called her the B word and all sorts of fun stuff.
Yeah, he's attacking Candace.
He's going to war. Yeah.
Wow.
So
Laura Loomer is working on Alex Jones to make him more Zionist, basically.
That's what she says. He says, no. That's not true. So
she's the source of Tren del Agua or whatever these start. Like they took over an apartment building in Colorado. Like that's the reason to invade. A lot of this stuff tracks back to her. So that's Israel. So how much is Israel involved in basically stovepiping slop into the White House? That's turning into policy. Like, why would you allow people like this into the White House if you're a serious government, right? Isn't it kind of shocking?
Oh, yeah. I don't think we're a serious government, actually.
The Trump administration is a circus. It's a criminal circus. It's clown cartel. High swamp is what it's become. Marco Rubio, friends of major cartel people, been busted for importing cocaine and bananas from Ecuador. Daniel Noboa, that's Rubio's best buddy. And then all of a sudden, Trump's pardoning the Juan Orlando Hernandez. Like, where did that come from? There should be a Senate hearing about this. Because if the president is that compromised, we already know with the Israel situation how compromised the presidency is. But imagine if the cartels are involved. And how do you think the cartels are involved with the Israelis? Really? What do you think? What do you think? That's why they're in Colombia. Why was the IDF in Colombia for 20 years?
Seems pretty likely.
In the jungles. Yeah, they were selling weapons.
They like
to
coffee.
The Colombian. Yeah, just the coffee. Yeah, obviously, it's the coffee. I'm just throwing that out there because at some point you got to kind of put two and two together.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The easiest way to traffic drugs like coke internationally is by military transport.
Is coke popular in Israel? Just curious.
Oh, my goodness. Highest per capita usage.
Oh, really?
Israel has the highest per capita uses of recreational drugs in the world.
How about that? It doesn't seem like the right place to grow it. They must have to import it somehow.
They import it, and then that's a distribution hub for the Middle East.
Mm.
So all the rich Arab countries, where are they getting their drugs from? Saudi, UAE, all these places. Where? Just saying, folks.
Well, we've talked at length about the DEA, the CIA, how they actually operate in relation to these things. We know they're pretty much, two-stepping with the Mossad, too. So it really begs a lot of questions. That's all.
So this is Katie Miller, who no one ever heard of, who is the wife of Stephen Miller. And because she's the wife of Stephen Miller, she automatically has a hit podcast where she interviews people from the White House. Do you guys see a problem with this?
Yeah, some Fed wife who just hangs out at Mar-a-Lago all the time, probably with a bunch of other Botoxed up and plasticed up wives, CIA wives, little plants and honey pots and all kind of weirdos and grifters. Yeah, not going to listen to that podcast.
So, but people say, "Oh, Katie Miller, Katie Miller." No, it's not. It's a White House propaganda podcast. That was nowhere, that nobody knew anything about before last January. And here she is tweeting out the U.S. is going to take over Greenland. But this is where these people, they think this is great. This is where they want America, in this type of mode. And I think this is massively dangerous, hugely problematic on many levels. Because the lawlessness and the attitude, based on the serious stuff that we're involved in, Katie Miller and Steve Miller are hardcore Zionists, obviously. And look at what the U.S. has done in Gaza. Look at these people, to them it's a joke. They think that, the 370,000 dead in Gaza is a joke. And that, well, they probably deserved to die because they're all Hamas terrorists. This is a level of criminality that we have never seen before. That's what I'm trying to get across to people. And when I see tweets like this from the same people that are cheering on what's going on in Gaza, I really have a problem with these people in general. I think that these are, this is...
Can someone check her podcast and see if she's sponsored by or has affiliate links for Polymarket or Kalshi? Thanks.
It's worth looking into. I mean, this is the first place you should look, Polymarket. I mean, that just should be illegal.
Doesn't that just seem like the kind of thing like you should probably have like a cop knocking on your door and being like, okay, it's just like, yeah, that happened. It's just news. That's just news. You mess around on like the stock market like that in some way as a private citizen, you're probably going to get a knock on the door. But this anonymous person with, banger, absolute, just random information, we're to believe, pulled $400,000 in that. You got to be kidding me, man. It's crazy that this is just like, yeah, this is the system. Enjoy, go for it.
Unbelievable. I mean, look, by the way, a lot of people were saying that, oh, there was no drone attack on Putin's residence. Have you heard people like some real, spooks in academia that I won't name any names, but people going on major shows saying it didn't happen, Russia's just made it up. And of course, take a look at that, ladies and gentlemen. That just happened yesterday. Oh, it didn't happen. Russia hands the U.S. the drones. Official handover of the evidence. 91 drones. But guess what? Russia's already back-engineered all the guidance systems, pre-programmed. And guess what? Ukraine doesn't have that technology, you guys. What do you think about the timing of that attack? Venezuela, U.S. meetings with Russia. This is a bad look. And Trump, basically, the CIA's admitted that they knew about it, and Trump is denying that he knew about it. So does this is the worrying thing, you guys. Do you see the problem here? So either Trump is lying or the CIA is not telling Trump. Both are bad possibilities. Think about what's going on here. That they tried to kill, and not only that, that's the nuclear command bunker. They keep hitting Russian nuclear deterrent. Does that mean the U.S. is trying to get a first strike? I think at this point, this is the third time they've hit a Russian nuclear deterrent, long-range bombers, long-range over-the-horizon radar, which has nothing to do with Ukraine. And now this? I'm a little bit worried. These psychopaths that we have in Washington They are playing with fire. I'm telling you, this is going to get serious for America. America is not safe. We're still, the Americans and the Hegseths of the world are so cocky. They think that we're invincible. No one would dare. But if the U.S. keeps moving like they're moving here, wait. It could take time, but it's going to happen because they're sending a very bad message to other powers. I really am very concerned with the direction America is going in the world. I was before, but now it's another level. I think these people are putting America in grave danger. These criminals that are currently pretending to be governing. And Trump is destroying the economy, by the way, and claiming this is the greatest economy in the history of the universe, or whatever. I mean, God almighty.
I would not be surprised if 2026 becomes the year of the Orishnik. You remember I think it was October of 24, Putin came out and he made a very concise comment about national defense as far as Russia goes, about blocks of nations that are attacking blocks that Russia is partnered with. And if that's not exactly what we're seeing right now, what he warned against, I don't know what is. And he also, just to paraphrase from a more than year-old memory now, he said there would be demonstrations of that missile system if these kind of activities continue. So, yeah, I agree with you, Patrick. I think this is an escalation from a place that was already very elevated as far as threat levels and the amount of trust that any other nation can have in the entire Atlanticist bloc and UN right now and NATO it couldn't be any further negative.
America cannot be this insane. It's not good for just overall stability. America is supposed to be the sort of anchor for the rest of the West. And, it does its crimes, it does its regime change wars, its false flags. But pretending that it's legitimate is part of the theatrical performance that somehow keeps things somewhat stable. But this thing that they're doing, I don't like it. I don't like where this is heading. And then, so this is what Elon's saying, you guys. Elon, he doesn't do politics, but when it comes to this, look, he puts his little American flag up in his bio. This is Elon. So he's thinking about, he wants to take out the president of South Africa and put a white president in. Honestly, that is something he goes to bed dreaming of. And using the U.S. military. So imagine if he convinces Trump to deploy in South Africa to save the white farmers against a non-existent white genocide. That sounds crazy, doesn't it? But this is actually possible with these people. This is how insane things are going to get. People will believe anything. Narco terrorism, patently stupid, completely made up. But MAGA, half of MAGA is, how much of MAGA though is cheering for this, you guys? Take away the media. I know a lot of MAGAs, and I see a lot of bots online, you guys. I've checked the people trolling me. These are very small accounts. These are bot accounts, many of them. And NAFO is after me as well. And I thought they decommissioned NAFO because they're all about, defending Ukraine. They're attacking me on Venezuela. So the bots are out, but you guys, is the real MAGA base really supporting this? How much? I'm sure some of it is, but would you put a percentage on it, you guys? What do you think?
It's difficult. It's difficult. I do have some people in my life that only watch Fox or only do a 10-minute roll through X. And they seem to think things are going well. So I'm afraid, when it comes to MAGA slop, And this is not a dig against any of those people, if any of you are watching, because I know a lot of them have tuned out because it's just too much. You know what I mean? It's like too much on their mental to watch Sunday Wire every week, to listen to Boiler Room every week. You know what I mean? It's just the amount of data that we're trying to process to have a somewhat cohesive, view of reality is just too much for a lot of people, and they tune out and they try to keep up. But then, after a while, they may not realize, but they're being fed MAGA slop. So those that eat MAGA slop, whatever percentage that is, yeah, they believe it hardcore. The big question, though, that you're getting at, I think, is what percentage of people used to call themselves MAGA that refuse to now and are horrified by what they see coming out of the official accounts from the White House.
Yeah. And again, that term MAGA slop we've been using it now, so there must be something to that term because it's being used.
It's not all bad, Patrick. We're getting memes out of it. That's always a good sign when people are willing to fight against the system with the memes. Like they tried to, you see the image there on the show graphic for Hesher there, his background. We've got that they came out front and center with that image of Maduro wearing the blindfold and he's handcuffed or whatever. And I guess he was holding a bottle of water. That backfired. I don't know if you saw this. They were trying to make him look like a bad guy. Instead, he turned out making him look like a bad boy. So now they can definitely market that kind of image in his defense because everybody likes a bad boy, right? I mean, it looks like he's ready to drop an album, doesn't he? I mean, oh wait, that's been slightly doctored. But people are memeing this for sure. I've seen plenty of memes on this, and it's not pro-America, go get them kind of memes. It's criticism of the administration, and it's not necessarily coming from the left. It seems that this happens every 4 years or so, that the current powers that be who are in charge cause a lot of people to leave that political party. It doesn't matter if it's the left or the right. I think this time around, if all is said and done, we're going to see more people. We saw the people literally burning their MAGA hats, including our friend and colleague, Mystical Pharaoh. So, I mean, I think we'll probably see more people leaving the right this time around than we've seen people leave the left, say, during the pandemic. They all seem to be happy with that. But this is like MTG. We lost MTG. I mean, Thomas Massey, God bless him. He's like, what is he the only real conservative this country's got left in politics, I think, unfortunately.
I heard over the weekend that MTG had a threat to the family. Okay, you guys heard that? Yeah.
No.
And that sounds very credible. So these criminals that we were talking about before, we won't mention any names. But, well, threatening the family of sitting Congress people. And think about, there's not very many dissenters. She's one of, what, 5? And they still have to threaten them?
Yeah, we're not even allowed like a handful of dissenters out of
They're that scared. That tells you that she's powerful. MTG is powerful. Why? Because she's at least trying to get to the truth. And the truth is powerful. The truth is what's powerful. That's what all of this stuff, these censorship hurdles, all of this activity is to try to shut down the truth. You can have a bigger platform you want as long as you don't get too close to the truth. That's the rules. That's their rules. Okay. So Russia can kidnap Zelensky here, says Gog still in 743. The Europeans are freaking out. They can't condemn Trump. So they're like, well, we don't know if it's legal or not. We're not sure, but Maduro needs to go. But and they said, ask point blank, is it legal? Well, we need to see the facts, and we're monitoring the situation. They don't want to say it because if they do, Putin can march in and snatch Zelensky, and it's all fair game.
And his wife.
See, this is the problem with anarchy, and this is what Trump has opened Pandora's box. Big mistake. That can lead to bigger war in this kind of environment. Not only that, just more hypocrisy. Just the
Remember all the Crimea River over Crimea too? Crimea got annexed by Russia. Oh my God. No, those people voted for that. I didn't see anyone in Venezuela voting for the United States, Donald Trump, to come in, blaring the horns of war and kidnap the elected leader there. I mean, come on.
Listen, I'm telling you, Maduro won the last election. But the U.S. has done this multiple times. They say, oh, it was a rigged election. And they say, oh, no, it definitely wasn't. There was cheating. He's not the legitimate president. That's our president. His name is Edmundo Gonzalez. This is the new, senile guy they're wheeling around Washington. Before it was Juan Guaido. Then it was Maria Corina Machado. The U.S. and the West just say, oh, they didn't have elections. If they say that, it means they're nullified. So,
well, at the same time, Zelensky has shut down elections in Ukraine, I might add.
Exactly. Well, yeah, and Trump himself claims that the last election was rigged. Does that mean China can come in, invade California, to reinstall, Republican congressmen and senators that were railroaded out of Arizona, put Kerry Lake back in as governor? I mean, is this the...
They can claim all of the Silicon Valley companies and chips as their own because America stole it from China, right? Or something like that.
Pat Rivers, MTG, said her sons, her family, business, and employees were threatened. That's serious, folks. That should be a congressional hearing. There should be a major grand jury for this. Kash Patel and Pam Blondie should be all over it. But are they? No, because it tracks back to where? It tracks back to where? Oh, we can't go there. So just allow the criminal threats of sitting congressmen and their families to carry on. That's fine. We can't do anything about that. Thank you so much. We have such a great...
Yeah, I didn't see that in the news, Patrick. However, I've seen blasted on my feed how Elon Musk got threatened by some Somali chick. I'm like, wow.
Oh,
okay.
did he? I know. And he said, this is war. He's such a tough guy, Elon. He can fight the trans. That's what Elon's... He's an alpha dog. He challenged Mark Zuckerberg to a boxing match and then wimped out. Do you remember that?
Yeah, Zuck got in shape for it too. He was
Zuck
ready
got
to go.
in shape, and Elon just chickened out like an absolute puss that everyone knows that he is.
Right? Then you look at those two guys in that parking lot picture from last week, and it's like, yeah, Elon, I wouldn't mess with Zuck if I were you. I mean, he might be a robot, but he's a stronger looking robot than you.
Imagine getting your ass kicked by Mark Zuckerberg.
Oh my gosh, you'd never live it down.
Oh, that's why that fight didn't happen. And there's probably, if Elon challenged a trans person, he'd probably get clocked by some trans woman, knocked out. Oh, it's this.
Got the picture, Hesher.
That's the one. Look at Elon. Yeah. Who's going to win in a fight between those two guys? Come on.
I mean, but the point is, these people are just a joke.
I'd rather see Bezos and Zuck fight.
They want respect because they have lots of money. He can fight, who is it? Logan, not Logan Paul, the other one, Jake Paul. Is it Jake Paul? Yeah. Elon, you can fight Jake Paul for half a billion. Oh, goodness gracious. Children. Yep. Elon can't do 3 push-ups. Probably correct. Oh, my God. Where do we go from here? Can Mexico get its former territories back? Right? Right?
As a Texan, I'm actually considering it. It might be better.
It might be better. You get a lot more freedom under the Mexican system, don't you? I mean, they don't charge $1,000 a month for health care that you still have to pay for after you're done with your $7,000 deductible. That doesn't happen in Mexico, does it? Isn't that why so many Americans drive over the border to buy their pharmaceuticals and get all their health care work and dental work done? Mm-hmm. Is that why they do that?
100%.
So Mexico is not that bad.
Some say it's better service too, better dentists and all that.
Yep, but Trump said we have it's never been cheaper healthcare. People I know are dying. I very sad stories I could share with you guys. People in America. I had one conversation, $700 a month premiums. I said to this guy who's disabled, I said, "What's your deductible?" I was hoping he'd say $2,000. No. 7.
Oh my gosh.
6, 6, 7, something like that.
It's
And
it's a known statistic that many Americans do not have that kind of money. Like I don't have the number to hand, but it's an alarming number when you think about, life or death treatment like that.
He's making this guy was making $50,000 a year. It's not a lot of money in America when you consider these overheads. So so you look at the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. I know some people that wouldn't have health insurance without it. They're getting a tax credit on it. And then so you can badmouth Obamacare all you want, and yes, it's created all these problems in the market and whatnot. But Trump has had plenty of time to come up with a solution or some kind of alternative, and delivered nothing. Instead, we're invading countries, bombing countries. How many new wars? Trump has bombed 7 countries in 12 months.
And he's made his
7.
own pharmaceutical brand too, didn't he, Ruckus? What was that thing that we talked about on Boiler Room
He's
recently?
got a website. It's Trump RX. It's where it was like Obamacare, how you could negotiate the cost of your insurance, and now you get your drugs cheaper. It's Trump RX. So Trump is now your middleman for your drugs, kids. Way to go.
Elon is a trust fund supremacist. Oh, don't talk about that. His old man bankrolled his startup, transferring money via Israel. That's an interesting story.
Well, Trump had a little head start in his beginning too, yeah?
Yeah, he did. He did. Trump was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. The golden age.
I saw that.
Oh my God. These people are too much. Yeah, I mean, this is just. I mean, this is just.
You were mentioning Trump's mental capabilities, and I've been observing that as well. He does seem kind of tired and sick. And then I've had this long-running theory, and I haven't checked up on Biden lately because he's not out in the spotlight. But for the longest time, I thought that dude was faking it. I thought, this is too over the board ridiculous. There's no, I mean, like anyone with half a mind close to that guy would just get, they'd be like, yeah, we got to replace this guy. So I think that a lot of that was an act for him to get away with doing a lot of evil things. So they'd be like, oh, no, that's just good old Grandpa Joe, the senile guy pooping his pants, eating ice cream. No, no. So I think that was an act. And I think what we're witnessing here is what real life dementia, getting old and losing it looks like, is what we're seeing here with Trump. And then I have a quick little theory, if you're interested, about why or how this is all happening. Because the argument is Trump himself actually some sort of weird tyrant, dictator, emperor, like some sort of evil emperor Palpatine or whatever? I did this with Grok, by the way, before Grok stopped allowing me to use Donald Trump. Or this is more likely to me, just understanding Trump's history and how everyone likes to feed into his ego. What if he honestly believes all of these things? What if he honestly thinks that he's saving America and that he's fighting these drug dealers because of the bad information that's being fed to him? As we just witnessed here, as we were discussing, he didn't even allegedly know about the attack on Putin's house, which is quite an alarming thing, because you're supposed to have, he's supposed to get the daily report and know all of the things. On top of that, he says, who told me about the attack on Putin's house? Putin. He called me. He gets a phone call from Putin, and that's how he finds out about these activities? No. If that's true, people are feeding him bad information, and there's a good chance they're just playing into his ego, making him feel like he's some sort of superhero saving the world. And it is just because he's just not all there. And I think that's a very useful puppet, because nothing has changed. All of these things we're talking about is technically nothing to do with Trump, nothing to do with the current administration. This is exactly how this empire, America, has been acting pretty much as long as I've been alive. So clearly somebody or something else, you have that picture again of the matching costumes, has been, dictating policy in this country for quite a while, possibly since JFK, just putting it out there,
Well, the most retarded, this is the White House again, something, I'll show you something that they tweeted out. So it was the choppers rolling into Caracas, and the White House has called 47, Response 47, I think that's the name of the Twitter account. And they're sort of like, chest thumping, and, they got a hard on of the U.S. rolling in to Caracas so I'm gonna put this on screen, you guys. Max Blumenthal pointed this out, which I was gonna. We had commented on this like a couple of years ago. Was Trump using CCR, Creedence Clearwater Revival? You know that song, "Fortunate Son"? Trump likes to use that as a sort of like tough guy theme song, which I find to be very strange. For this reason, Neocon Don and his team set their state terror highlight reel to CCR's "Fortunate Son," which is actually an anti-war anthem against slamming jingoistic warmongers and privileged children who evaded the Vietnam draft, just like Trump did, because Trump is a draft dodger and a trust fund person. So, I mean, let me just, I gotta cut that.
YouTube is going to be mad.
I gotta cut that. That's going to get a strike on YouTube or something.
But not if you're the president. You can just use this for your propaganda, right?
But does that irony land with anybody in MAGA? Like, who's operating the White House account there? Are they that stupid? They don't understand the lyrics of the CCR? I mean, that's a very American song. Like, if I mean, these are people that like to be very, quote, American. They don't understand the irony of that.
Yeah, this in his autobiography, Fogerty, songwriter, said that he wrote the song while thinking about David Eisenhower, President Dwight D. Eisenhower's grandson, and President Richard Nixon's son-in-law. Eisenhower enlisted in the Navy Reserve in 1970 and served 3 years active duty, most of it as an officer aboard the USS Albany in the Mediterranean Sea. Fortunate Son wasn't really inspired by any one event. Julie Nixon was dating David Eisenhower. You'd hear about the son of this senator or that congressman who was given a deferment from the military or a choice position in the military. They seemed privileged, and whether they liked it or not, these people were symbolic in the sense that they weren't being touched by what their parents were doing.
Interesting. That was in Fogerty's autobiography?
Yes.
I saw him at Glastonbury about 2007.
Rad.
He was awesome.
I bet.
It's absolutely awesome.
Yeah, it's a disgrace for the Trump administration to use most of the songs that they use in one way or another. Pretty much every time someone is, real music people are upset because it is like Ruckus said, it's almost like a satanic inversion of, the theme of the song.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I mean, if you do that, you just, in your peer group, if you have semi-intelligent peers, they would just say, that's stupid. You're an idiot. Don't do it. This is lost on these people. And
like, do they not know? Does anyone ever come to them and say that's inappropriate? You know what I mean? From like what Jeff Bezos's fiance is wearing to removing Maduro. It's like, does anyone or the White House, social media pages, is there a single person in the office who walked by while that was being drafted or posted, whatever, these memes and all this, and said, you know what? That feels inappropriate. Like, has that ever been said to any of these people? Because I don't know. It's really weird. We watched some crazy reality show last night that Jamie Hanshaw recommended to us, and it was a reality show about the women of Mar-a-Lago, basically.
Oh
and
my God.
It was the most insane thing I've ever seen. I was just like, I don't know if I can sit through this. I mean, it was like a real life episode of South Park or something like that when they're showing their version of Mar-a-Lago. But the women there all had this thing about like what's appropriate, this like country club sort of like mindset about what's appropriate and what's not for this diva and that diva. And I'm just thinking to myself, What about all your husbands? Does anyone ever talk to them about what's appropriate or not?
Was there a lot of plastic surgery in that?
Dude, so much Botox, plastic surgery, BBLs, weird employees rotating around them at all times. I mean, it's madness. It is an utter madness. It's just, I can't even describe it.
Shout out to World's End. Santana's is much better. Thank you very much.
There you go.
I'm on board with that. I saw Carlos Santana in concert in a basketball gym in 1991, 92, maybe 92. It was awesome. I'll never forget it.
Turns out, Hesher, there used to be a department that was dedicated to exactly that, checking all of the things and making sure that it was an okay look before it went out. But Doge came in and just, they're gone.
Doge. Well, what happened to Doge was going to cut spending.
Saved us some money to give to those Somalian daycare centers, I guess.
Those wars are expensive, Elon. Those wars are expensive. Plus, jacking up the defense budget another $400 billion above what you can afford. Oof. I guess Doge did really good. How much money did Doge save the U.S. government? Any? Did it even save $1? Even
Before or
$1?
after inflation?
All that hope. Doge, all the merchandise was great, though, you guys. Elon had the merch. It was so cool, right? You guys weren't on board with that because it was cool. Forget about whether it achieved anything, but it was cool, and Elon's cool. He said, we're going to go to Mars. Won't that be cool? To plant a flag on each side. Remember that at the that cringe thing that he did at the inauguration? This is between the Hitler salutes.
And the golden chainsaws coming from Argentina, right?
With crypto scammer Javier Milei. I got to be careful when I do those Ruckus because someone could screenshot that.
Oh yeah, count on it.
Screenshot that might get you shadow banned on YouTube. Speaking of shadow banning, we haven't done our algorithmic reset yet, and so again we have to make up for. Algorithmic reset, folks. Why are you guys so conspiratorial?
Are you guys not interested in all this free oil? I mean, come on, guys.
You guys are not for Israel? Israel has a right to defend itself, don't they, chat? Come on. Let's go.
Especially in South and Central America.
Let's go. They're fighting us this week, Hesher and Ruckus.
Quick, somebody type, I condemn Hamas.
Why does Trump use the YMCA theme when it's a gay anthem? This is a legit question. Few people in MAGA understand. Talk about irony. Again, we're talking about the music and the not getting it. Trump loves YMCA, but it's a gay anthem. Globally, that is probably, if not the most gay, but isn't that weird?
Do the Village People approve? Is that Village People approved? Because I thought I recall, I might just be making this up, but I think I recall some of them not being happy about that.
Okay, our algorithm's we're gonna have a good comeback with YouTube. I'll show you right now. I'm seeing some good ones here. Look at this. Eat your groceries. Maduro bad, Zionism good. Straight up. It's going straight in for an algorithmic reset. Look at that. YouTube loves that. Kurt
Short
Lazarus.
words. That's good. That's good.
They also love the Tropic Thunder.
Look at this, you guys. Israel is a victim. This is great. You got to be careful with the emoji, though. That might get picked up by YouTube.
Just don't put a juice box emoji in, whatever you do.
You should put an Israeli flag instead of a laughing emoji. It might help. Whew. Okay. Oh, look at this. We love free oil.
Right?
This is,
yeah,
absolutely. YouTube loves this. Heil Trump. That might work. It might work. It might work. They love me. They really, really, many people love me. You know, they say I'm the greatest president, maybe the greatest ever. Better than Andrew Jackson. Bra, you guys have been perpetually shadow banned since how long now? Over 10 years.
Since before it was cool.
Yeah.
Yep. Look at this, you guys. BB rocks. This is just out of control. Oh my God. He had the village people at the inaugural celebration. I know it's cringe.
Oh, yeah. That's why it's confusing to me. I think it's meant to be confusing.
Yep.
Maybe it's an MK Ultra trigger song. Maybe it does something to some people.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. YouTube, just hoover this up. Look at this love coming from our comment section. We love Moderna. Look at that. 2 hearts. They're loving that. The algorithm is loving that.
I'm a Pfizer guy. What are you doing with this?
We are sending catnip into the algorithm here. Look at this. This is great. Anything else? What do we got here? Let me see. Any good stuff here? Oh, this is always BB should get the Nobel Peace Prize.
There we go.
You know, let's just all like superficially agree with that. Yeah, I think that's a brilliant nomination.
Only if he can share it with Trump, then I'm okay with this.
Yep, and they like Trump's dance moves. I mean, this is all going, seems to be going in the right direction. Yes. Look at this. Up. Oh, this is. I love Eat Your Groceries. Up with Zionism, down with freedom. I mean, this is trying to literally hack the algorithm here. That's an aggressive attempted hacking of the algorithm.
Yeah,
right
if
there.
that doesn't work, I don't know what will.
Kurt Lazarus not taking any prisoners. Look at that. Down with freedom, up with Zionism. You're trying to rig the algorithm, aren't you? You're going to have to reprogram. That would give AI a headache right there. Look at that. Eat Your Groceries. Look at this. Oh, dear. I won't read that on screen.
Yeah. I don't know if they actually want us all to do that. Then we might know what's in it.
Zionists, the last bastion of democracy. It really this will be good for the TikTok stream, I think. This will help us on TikTok with Larry Ellison. That's it. Israel is the only democracy in the Middle East. And you guys, they're getting very hardcore now. Look at this. God promised the U.S. Venezuelan oil. It's true. 3,000 years ago, it's written in the scriptures.
That's our free oil today, man.
This and those who, if you bless the U.S., you'll be blessed. If you don't support them, you'll be cursed, says Ted Cruz.
This is why God saved Donald Trump from tragedy in Butler, Pennsylvania.
99 Luft the Balloons. It's a great tune, by the way. Yeah. By Nina, the German pop band. It's a real Berlin Wall coming down sort of moment. I remember that song when it was going. Here we go. Let me see. Just looking for some last. And we've had some really good ones here.
Yeah, there's been too many to catch them all. They've been really good. I'm just sitting here laughing at half of them.
Oh, this is good. Yeah, Israel was promised Venezuelan oil 3,000 years ago. That's more of a refined interpretation of that scripture, but yes, it's true.
Facts.
That's right.
Someone asks if there'll be oil stimmy checks. I strongly believe so. I think that is one of the ways they'll be able to bribe because they had to bribe everybody, give them free donuts and free pandemic relief money to keep everybody shut up about this, what we just ruined your lives. Shut up about this. Here's some free money because we stole the oil. I bet you anything we will see that.
Is this what you're talking about here, Ruckus? Free oil for the top 1%, but inflation?
No, it was just a random, it just said oil stimmy checks.
So I see that right there. Stimulus
but I
checks.
think they would probably really try that, yeah.
Well, Trump promised that all the Venezuelans are going to be rich. I mean, you going to deliver on that? Did that work with the Ukrainians? How much have we pumped in there? 300 billion? They're poorer. After all that money, they're now poorer. I somehow don't think he's going to be able to deliver on that one.
Can we make all the Americans rich first if we're going to go around making people rich? Like Venezuela, what are you freaking talking about? How about me? I'm dealing with $20 tuna sandwiches over here.
We got to make sure Israelis get free health care first, and that they're looked after first. And then we'll I'll tell you what, if you reelect my MAGA candidate for 2028, I promise we're going to have a better deal. This is a terrible deal. If I was president, it would have never happened, but I can't do anything about it now because we're busy. We've got to deal with Iran, and people like what we're doing in Iran. Many have said it's fantastic what we've done in Venezuela, but the healthcare, it's complicated, yeah, okay.
We're gonna have to work some slurring and drooling into our Trump impressions now. It's gonna get harder.
Study that press conference. Study that press conference. I wish Jay Dyer would do a drooling Trump impression because I know he can.
All right, someone clip that and send it to him.
Because Jay is the master at voices and impressions, and he has not really done Trump, but I think a drooling, lethargic, aging Trump, Jay, because I've seen Jay do Zizek, the Slovenian's philosopher. He does a pretty devastating Zizek, so I think he can do a sort of dilapidated Trump, Jay.
If you haven't seen our friend and colleague in the boiler room, Basil Analyzers, Trump, it is, c'est magnifique.
Yeah, he's good. He does a good one, too.
Oh, does he? Okay. Yeah, definitely send that through. Talmudic quote of the day, if you don't steal it, someone else will. Oh, please. Please. We don't want to bring religion into this. We absolutely reject that. Out of hand. Here we go. Again, this is going to be great for our views on YouTube. Monthly boosters to ensure democracy. Basically, you're trying to hack the YouTube algorithm here. I think
we just emerged. We just emerged from the depths of shadow ban right here today.
This is a vicious hacking attempt here by Martin Maher in 1965. He's literally trying to hack YouTube's algorithm with that comment. That's ruthless. Read that. Monthly boosters to ensure democracy. I mean, that's a knot you cannot get out of, you guys, right there.
It almost sounds like something we were told by CNN 5 years ago.
Put that into ChatGPT and it'll break the whole AI model. It just destroy Grok with that one. That's pretty brutal right there. I mean, that gets the prize at the moment. That's front runner. Seriously. Oh, but this could break it. I hate to say it, Martin, but the competition is getting thick. Gardner Goldsmith, I follow Tim Pool blindly. BB is the best. Oh, Jesus. You follow Tim Pool blindly. Oh, I don't know what to say to this, you guys. This is too much. You guys are cruel. Gardner Goldsmith, just basically trying to tackle Martin Maher's great submission there. Just look at this. Freedom is dangerous in the wrong hands. Wow. Oof. Car 9990. Wow. That
stings.
That stings. That's like single shot, right? Bullseye, basically.
We heard a comment like that too this week. There was someone, I have it bookmarked, I don't remember who it was. I think it was an Israeli saying we need to work on the First Amendment, or they're making a pesky First Amendment comment, and like everybody jumped on them.
Look at this. Bill Browder for president of Ukraine. Holy smokes. BB is not a criminal. Look at that. Standing up for Netanyahu. I like that. I like that. Oof. This is just wrong right here. mRNA cancer drugs rock, says DJ Mark, because that's just gallows humor right there. It's just gratuitously bad, algorithmic sort of slop right there. Goodness gracious. Oof. AstraZeneca is my bag of tea, says In Your Face 5799. Trying to lighten up the atmosphere, aren't you, In Your Face 5799?
Grab that one right above Ruckus's.
BB for president of the world. literally followed up by Florian 831 saying, "Just crown him king of the world." Look at that. They're double teaming on comments, you guys. It's literally tag teaming like people in the threads. So much Netanyahu promotion going on here. Oof. Are you guys tired of winning yet? Oh boy. Oof. This is depressing right here from BR Tanners. And I saw a huge Trump rally in Albuquerque. They played YMCA twice. Ruckus, did you hear anything about this?
It was after I moved. That's our friend Bruce out in Albuquerque. Shout out, Bruce.
Yeah.
2 times.
I'm on my 37th COVID booster, says Mac Truck 22.
Yeah.
That's it. Now you're talking. 37 boosters.
Yeah, consume those boosters, buddy.
Yep. Okay, here we go. Look, we're gonna wrap this up, you guys. It's been real.
It's been real, and it's been fun. I don't know if it's been real fun, though.
That's Alex Jones is right. We should never question Trump or anything he does. Only an un-American libtard would doubt him. That's just that is. I mean, coming in strong there.
Yeah.
Simon 1138 dash lowercase f 8 lowercase n. I love the booster juice. So all the pro-vax. The Vax files are out, aren't they? They just love when the conversation degrades down to that level. They just appear.
I think a lot of you have a moderate to severe case of some sort of derangement syndrome.
Look at this. War. What is it good for? America. Says Christian constitutional conservative. You better believe it, buddy. Look at this. You guys are so in the flow in the comments. It's crazy.
Good God.
They're flowing. I mean, good. I mean, yeah. Indeed. Yes. Okay, one more. Oh, last one. Let me see. I have to put this up, you guys, because it's just too good. On 9/11, Howard Lutnick drove his grandson to school. That's Howard Lutnick from Cantor Fitzgerald. That's one of the buildings in the banks in the World Trade Center. So he was lucky. He was lucky he wasn't there.
A number of lucky people that day, and a much larger number of unlucky people.
That's right. So I see we like to read off satirical comments. You better believe it. It is. It's gallows humor, folks. I support the digital ID. That's a strong note. That's a strong note to end on there. Yeah. Stay home, stay safe, but only if you have a gun. That is such a Texan thing to say. Right there. Strong 2A supporter there, Coma 4050 here. And this is not, that's, I can't read this one by Eat Your Groceries. That's just borderline. That's just too much. That's not good. I won't highlight that one. Jesus loves you, so take the jab. Yeah. Good stuff. Yep. Free speech is too inexpensive. Oof. I like it.
It's getting pricier.
Sear 7327. Very clever. We like that. All right. If we don't steal Greenland, somebody else will. There we go. Little follow up on that little Talmudic. It's just the continuity is amazing. Gentlemen, your final thoughts in this momentous New Year's first Sunday wire of the new year. Last 48 hours.
What a banger. I mean, what a kickoff to a year. Last year, all we got was a exploding Cybertruck full of fireworks in front of Trump Tower. This year, we got a regime change, an overnight regime change. So, I guess welcome to 2026 imperialist, Trumpian, political Zionist America. I think that's pretty much where we're at. And that will be our bellwether moving forward as we move down the yellow brick road into whatever adventures we find here in 2026. Thanks for having me. Check out Boiler Room. We got a new episode up, and it was a massive, massive episode. We maxed out our StreamYard. We had 10 people in there. I think we had 12 in total throughout the night. I'm not even going to try to name everybody that was there. We had a lot of guests. We had a lot of regulars, and we invited pretty much everybody that's been on the show this year, and most of them were able to show up. So we had a really good time. AlternateCurrentRadio.com. That's where you'll find your latest Boiler Room, or of course on Rumble under Boiler Room, YouTube under Alternate Current Radio. Follow me on X at Hesher Media. And that's it. Thanks for having me. Happy New Year, everybody. This is going to be a wild ride.
Oh, the Q storm. You remember the storm? Where is this the storm? Has it finally arrived? This is what QAnon was. Trump was going to arrest all the pedophiles and the 100,000 sealed indictments, and then the Epstein thing came, and then that didn't work out too well, did it? But
still waiting for most of the storm.
Is this the storm, or has the storm not happened? Ask Michael Flynn. Michael Flynn was a big QAnon follower, which is kind of worrying in itself, but, Ruckus, your final thoughts. It's just getting wackier. We got to cut this program off because it's just getting insane in the comments now.
Well, things are so insane. I almost, not completely, but I'm getting close. I wish the Q stuff was real versus what we're dealing with in reality. I'll share a quick warning from history in the form of a quote from one Eleanor Roosevelt, a former first lady, of course, who said, y'all might be thinking sometimes, wondering when your world leaders are doing things that could push us closer and closer to the precipice of World War III, what are these people thinking? Maybe they're not. As Eleanor Roosevelt said, quote, anyone who thinks must think of the next war as they would of suicide, end quote. So perhaps our world leaders just simply aren't thinking. They're just so drunk with power. Who knows? But yeah, please check us out over at alternatecurrentradio.com. You will, of course, find the Boiler Room, the Daily Ruckus, the Roundabout Ruckus, our friends and colleagues such as the Odd Man Out and Mystical American Patriot Society. Everything can be found at alternatecurrentradio.com. You'll also find a link to the stuff that I do with Sam Chaney over at Weaponized News. I'm usually there Wednesday nights. I'm on Boiler Room on Fridays, and usually here on Sundays. And then hopefully this year, triumphant return of the Daily Ruckus. Stay tuned for more about that. Thanks for having me, Patrick.
You're very welcome. Thank you, gentlemen. Sorry, Basil couldn't be with us. He is preoccupied this weekend, but hopefully we'll catch up to him during the week. And there's a link there, rumble.com, user Alternate Current Radio on Rumble as well. You'll see some programming that you might find familiar there as well. Gentlemen, thank you so much. And again, keep our eyes on what's happening, and we'll do our best to try to make sense of it, if that's even possible at this point. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think we have launched into a new dimension, some kind of a parallel timeline.
Yeah, I mean, doing journalism and making sense, doing analysis of current events now is a completely different ballgame than when we stepped in. Like so far removed from when we stepped in.
If you want to see how far removed, go to the top 10 conspiracies, and at the bottom of this on 21st Century Wire, at the bottom you'll see the links to the previous years, and it's just kind of mad to go through to say those were the biggest standout things, and it is interesting, but it's kind of getting bigger. It's getting more biblical. I mean, I did it, and I couldn't get Trump and Israel out of the top 10. Like 8 of the top 10 things have Trump or Israel in it. There's no way you can get around it.
It says a lot.
that's weird. That's makes me a little bit, I tried to put some other stuff in there, but even AI doesn't escape the Israeli discussion. And then, Alex Karp and, oh my goodness, Sam Altman, OpenAI,
Laura Loomer.
Elon wanting to relocate his thing to Tel Aviv. And I'm like, okay. All right. Okay. But anyway, gentlemen, thank you so much. And we'll do our best. We'll do our best. Hesher, Bryan, McClain, Ruckus, Adam Clark, follow them on X, as well as go to the Alternate Current Radio website. Great website, great archive there, great experience. And as far as the audience goes, you guys have just been so naughty and just so wrong this week that we have to tip our hats to you for your amazing creativity and keeping it funny, keeping it light, because the first hour was quite serious. And I apologize. The profanity slipped out of my mouth. I'm going to try to go back and edit that out if it's not too late already. But anyway, it's been a great pleasure to have you with us for the Sunday Wire this week. We hope we did the subject justice and just being real. We're calling it like we see it, and it doesn't look good. And sorry if anybody was offended. If you're a fan of Donald Trump, MAGA, if you consider yourself to be a, quote, constitutional conservative, I think you got some serious questions to ask your pantheon of political gods this week, because I think there's been a big problem. Things have gone off the rails in not a great way. So we encourage people, keep your eyes open, try to stay on point. And you know where to find us. Go to 21stcenturywire.com. And again, think about supporting us for the winter fundraising drive. We'll recognize some of you next week when we go through some of the donations and new subscriptions to 21wire.tv. Listen, I know a lot of you guys love this show, but you haven't gotten involved yet on this level. Now is the time. Okay? It's a very important year, 2026. We're going to make it happen again, but it's going to be a tough year for the world, but we're going to make sure that we're strong in that. And we need your help to make that happen. Go to our website. You can see the gold donate button, upper left-hand corner, or just click on the link in the YouTube or Rumble description or BitChute description, and you'll see it there. And you can support us by donation or subscribe. Very, very cheap, just over $5 a month. 21wire.tv. So we need your help now more than ever. Help us for this winter fundraising drive. It's going to be alive for the next few weeks, so this is the time. This is the time, folks. Thank you guys who have donated. We really appreciate it. It's amazing. Your support is incredible. And we are an independent media outlet. We've been going since 2009, late 2009, early 2010. And it's the year 2025. And we're stronger than ever. And so this is a good, I think, we're a good outlet to support. We're going to be here. We're going to hit it hard. And thanks to you, we can keep doing it. Cheers, you guys. Sunday Wire archives up at 21stcenturywire.com. You can see us there. And we'll see you in the midweek, probably this week, definitely next Sunday again. It's going to be a lot that's going to transpire in the next 7 days. So we'll see you next Sunday for a wrap-up for a weekly omnibus news and analysis radio program. Again, brought to you here on 21stcenturywire.com, also at alternatecurrentradio.com. That's all we got time for. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll go out with our friends, Red Rumble, great band from Scandinavia. We'll see you next time. I'm Patrick Henningsen. All the best.
For in the final analysis, we all inhabit this small planet, and we are all mortal.
Lately I've been watching the world gone mad. Brothers and sisters full to take a stand, to hate their fellow man and not the man. Divide and conquer is the acronym plan. Distract the people, control the story. Don't believe your lying eyes, you know me. Stay in power no matter what. Playing with the doomsday clock. Turn a blind eye and gather your trust. Pushing us to turn to good. Corruption and lies. Truth is the crime will turn to gold. Well-designed misery to keep you on edge, make you believe anything anyone says. Keep it left or right, not top to bottom. Accuse the victim, can't you see we got 'em? Stay in power no matter what. Playing with the doomsday clock. Turn a blind eye and gather your trust. Pushing us to turn to dust. We've captured rights. Feudals our time will turn to dust. To dust. Industrialized brutality, commercialized cruelty, people as commodity, cheer on war and atrocity, no accountability, perpetual impunity.